Honestly, 5 to 3.1 is probably a better conversion.
What about 10 to
If you wanna
6.2?
I mean, sure, but it's 6.213.
Okay, but how about you've got 8 to 4.9, so you could just say 4 kilometers is 2.5 miles.
What?
4 kilometers is 2.5 miles.
Yeah, I guess. I was just saying that the 5 to 3.1 is cleaner because there's a 0 after the 1.
Hi everybody, welcome to Turnabout Breakdown, a podcast that I can only start when my friends spend 15 minutes talking about mile conversions and drive me insane.
We had to moderate the emotional
this.
state of the room. I can say this with a perfectly straight face now. I'm normal, and I am feeling normal,
That's good.
and I'm ready to do the podcast that we're about to do.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
No.
Oh, that's normal.
Normal people don't introduce themselves. They don't
So
have
true.
things to say about themselves.
If you were to come up to me on the street and ask me who I am, I would look at you dead in the eyes and say, that's absolutely none of your concern.
Okay,
I guess that's reasonable.
but we're not on the street.
Speak for yourself. I'm outside.
Okay. Oh, what's it like out there? This,
a beautiful
this
day.
podcast is never getting recorded.
I'm outside in my blazer with my stick microphone.
Oh.
I'm going to be interviewing some people that I run into out here.
Having a stick microphone is a bit too... You should be holding a lapel microphone like every YouTuber does.
Fuck that. Where's the craft?
I'm crocheting as we talk. So, it's here. I have the craft.
I'm also cross-stitching, so we have the craft, my friend.
Oh.
My comrade in crafts.
Comrade Crafts, that's really good.
Who are you, if unnamed other host won't introduce herself?
Don't tell them. Don't give them what they want.
Oh, I'm not good at that. I don't want to tell them who I am. I want to share with a beautiful audience. I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Devon. I'm feeling very, very regulated
Normal.
today and normal, yes. Also known as algae_dust, you can find me on Instagram where I sometimes post things. I'm going to pass over to Hera.
Hi, I'm Hera. You can find me online at Erica Mera. The thing is, I want to reference like what I've been doing lately, but it always just makes me sound... I always have to do it with the caveat that this is a million years in the past.
It's not that far in the past right now, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's getting close.
I've been enjoying the horse races online. They've been pretty fun.
They have been fun.
They're not real, to be clear.
They're real to me, and that's what matters.
I'm Jay. You can find me at Jam Costello. I don't think I've done anything new since last week that we recorded, but last week a video game that I edited came out called Many Nights a Whisper, which I talked about on this podcast already, but maybe you missed it. You should play it, it's fun.
Woo.
I said I was going to play that over the weekend. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well, I
This
wasn't going
weekend
to call
for
you out
sure.
on recording, but...
No, I'm calling myself out. I'm calling everyone out. Everyone has to play this.
Here's the thing, we're
and I'm gonna
recording
do it
again
over the
next
weekend.
week, probably, so
Fuck.
we will be able to check in on this.
Well, I'm good. I finished... I've been playing the video game Blueprints for like a month. And I'm free. I've escaped the house.
Yay!
Hera has been trapped in a labyrinth, and to be honest, she's been fucking loving it.
So true, it's such enrichment.
Yeah.
Girls do love their labyrinth.
Girls love the labyrinth. Me and another friend have been talking to each other about House of Leaves like non-stop for the past 2 weeks. Girls fucking love the labyrinth.
It's so funny that I know nothing about any labyrinths at any given point. I love not being a girl. I know nothing. I don't know what House of Leaves is.
It's about a labyrinth. That's all you need to know. I can't start talking about it because otherwise this podcast will be entirely about that book.
Unnamed House of Leaves correspondent who appears in one episode of this podcast and then never again.
It's going to be a challenge to see if I can go this entire podcast without anyone mentioning my name.
It's not really a challenge for you, it's the rest of us are playing a fun game of...
Oh god, are we
Like-
not doing that?
My
Okay.
funny secret.
We have the power to end this at any time. It's not a challenge. Now you've...
You wouldn't do that to
given
me,
us
would you,
power.
Hera? You wouldn't do that to your dear
might.
friend.
No.
I thought you cared me. You wouldn't take this away from me. The power of my anonymity.
Hey, Jay,
Hi.
have you got a summary of this half the case for us?
Yes, I do. We played
Thank
the
fuck
first
for that.
day of... Did I forget about it until after I played the whole case? Yes. Did I write it anyway? Yes, I'm very dedicated. We played the first day of Bridge to a Turnabout, the last case in the Ace Attorney trilogy. We're gonna end something pretty soon, which is
Fucking hell.
scary. In an opening cutscene, we see the golden statue and the 7-branched sword impaled onto a woman's body. Cutting to the law office, Pearl and Maya ask Phoenix to take them to a channeling dojo far up in the mountains so that Maya can train. Phoenix refuses until he sees a picture of a nun who lives there who looks suspiciously like Dahlia Hawthorne. At the dojo, we meet head sister Bikini and a children's picture book author called Elise Dunim? I think that's how that's pronounced. As well as the Dahlia lookalike whose name is Iris. Larry is also here as an apprentice to Elise. That night, Phoenix talks more to Iris, who says she's always lived at the temple, but who knows his name without prompting. On his way back to his room, Phoenix hears a scream and runs into Bikini, who has found Elise speared by the 7-branched sword. Going to call the police from the phone near the bridge, he finds it on fire, and realizing Maya's on the other side, he tries to run across it and falls into the water. Larry calls Edgeworth, who charters a private jet to make sure Phoenix is okay. He is, but he asks Edgeworth to defend Iris in court as she's been accused of Elise's murder, which Edgeworth agrees to, so we play the rest of the section as him. Edgeworth tries to establish where everyone was on the night of the crime. Bikini says she saw Iris stabbing Elise, and Iris says she was hiding in her room after revealing a blackmail letter that threatened to expose her secret. This turns out to be a letter from Larry, threatening to expose their quote-unquote love for one another, even though Iris has shown no interest in him whatsoever, and he was waiting for her at an abandoned shack near the bridge. Maya was at the temple across the bridge, but no one quite knows where Pearl went, and she's still missing. Edgeworth and Gumshoe investigate the crime scene, and Edgeworth talks about how he's pulled some strings to get a different judge and prosecutor to allow him to be able to defend Iris without getting caught. The final thing that happens in the investigation is Larry insisting he saw something incredible that night, but having 5 psyche locks about it, so Edgeworth says he'll just destroy him in court instead. At trial, it's revealed that Edgeworth has brought in the Canadian judge and Francisco von Karma, the latter of whom is very excited to go up against him for the first and last time. Bikini testifies about what she saw, which turns out to have several contradictions. There wasn't blood at the crime scene, Elise fell some distance after she died, and it may have been a different blade that was the murder weapon. On the last point, Bikini says that Iris could have dropped the real murder weapon in the river using a snowmobile to travel quickly, but there were only tracks in the return direction which no one can explain. Edgeworth says that if the bridge was involved, Larry may have seen something. During a recess, Iris admits that she was the only one with the snowmobile key, but refuses to tell us why she was at the bridge, quote, until Maya's safety is confirmed. Back in court, Larry testifies and eventually gives up what he saw that night that was so amazing, Iris flying over the burning bridge, which he also drew a picture of. This leads to the reveal that he also found the gem from Elise's staff near the bridge, suggesting it was actually her who flew. Edgeworth argues her body was moved from the bridge on the snowmobile, so more investigation is needed, and the judge grants us another day. Edgeworth says he's, quote, fulfilled his part in this and will hand the case back over to Phoenix.
Honestly satisfied with the case, realizing that I have to play as Phoenix again.
Legit. 2 things I want to get off at the top. First is that I've solved this case.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and the second is one of the funny things that I pulled when I was reading through these notes is when you first see Bikini, I immediately clocked her as a character that was probably going to turn out to be evil at some point. But it was really funny reading Devon's notes and Devon making that extremely obvious in their notes.
Wait, what? What did I do? What did I do?
In all of your notes, every time you mention Bikini, you're like, oh man, I wish you didn't become evil.
Alright. I'm not saying shit about shit.
She's fine. She's normal.
She's fine. She's literally so fine and so cute. Okay, should we get into the actual intro of the case?
Sure, what did we think about this?
It's the best one? Probably?
Oh.
Probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn fucking right.
Because, like, here's the thing. The competition is the visuals for the extra case that was added in the first game. Because that was, like, a fully 3D animated cutscene. But, like, narratively, this is superior to that.
I'd like to throw a competitor into the ring, which is Phoenix gets crushed by a giant gavel in his dreams.
The first one from,
That
what
is
was that, the
pretty
first
fucking
one from
good.
the second game?
Well, it happens in the first and last case of the second game, and I think it's very funny. This one is a little more dramatic, or like, less of a joke.
The perspective that we're given is the camera is moving down the statue of Mystic Ami that you see for the first time in the second case of this game. Mm-hmm. It's moving down the 7-branch sword and reflecting like the history of the Faye family from Maya's death to like meeting Pearl at Kurain village and everything that happened there to like the channeling that happened that went wrong with with Maya, and like Pearl breaking the onion. What the fuck?
It's an onion.
The
Sure.
onion. The famous channeling onion.
And then Phoenix is there.
And the feeding.
Yeah, why the fuck is Phoenix on this sword? I don't like that.
The plot twist of this one, Hera, is it's gonna turn out that Phoenix is secretly a member of the Fae family, and that he actually does have psychic powers.
The first man in the Korean line to have psychic powers.
He's also he's also gonna transition.
Yeah, that's right.
We cut to the law office, and Maya and Pearl are launching a double attack on Phoenix,
Which is correct.
which is correct.
This is
It's
correct
very
and good.
cute.
It's very
It's
cute
correct
because
and
it's
good,
very like sibling coded.
It's very sibling coded. And they want to go to this cold temple
I want to go to this
to
cold
do
nasty
some
temple.
training.
Cold nasty temple that we may have heard about once before already in a previous case that we may have
Yeah,
talked about,
perhaps.
theorized.
Some bridge that might
Yeah.
exist.
There might be a bridge in this one, and it might be a significant part of the plot. And we might have heard about a bridge in a previous case that also led to a temple that was above a river, and that river does have a 100% mortality rate.
Except for all the people who fall in it that
Except
we
for
know.
all the people, except for everyone who's ever fallen in it.
Except for everybody.
If you discount human beings, it's got a 100% mortality rate.
What are they even talking about?
They're talking about... I can't remember what the name of the temple is. I've already forgotten.
Hazakura.
Hazakura Temple. They shows Phoenix a picture of it from a magazine called Cult. Which is,
It's so good. It's so bad.
it's good that it's bad. Here's the thing, it's good that it's bad. There's probably a real life magazine
so
with
good
that
that
same
it's bad.
name, I bet. That sounds like a
Why did they
magazine that
go
the
with
lone
this
gunman would
angle?
read in the X-Files. What do you mean, why did they go with this angle?
Like, why did they put it in a cult magazine when it's a real, honest-to-God temple? I know it's because they're feeding into Phoenix's, like, skepticism.
No, Hera. It's not a cult magazine. It's an cult magazine.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah, I get
Get
it.
the, yeah. Good. The cult is formed around the magazine,
I
not
see.
around...
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to really go to this place. And they shows Phoenix a picture of the cover of the magazine, and Phoenix is immediately like, wait a fucking second. That's Dahlia Hawthorne on the front cover of the magazine. Dahlia Hawthorne being the woman who did try and kill him one time, and did successfully kill several other people.
She's just good at what she does.
She's good at what she does.
Just good at what she does.
But the thing is, maybe she is nice now.
Well, the thing is that gets said here is, like, Phoenix kind of implies that Dahlia is still in prison, but we were like, I don't know about anyone else, but I assumed that she was
She should be dead.
because that's what happens with everybody, yeah.
She should be dead by now. But here's the thing, ghosts are real. But here's the other thing, she's reformed.
A reformed ghost.
So what happened was she died and then came back as a ghost and then got reformed. Okay, look. I said I solved this case, and I'm pretty sure I've solved this case. However, like, everything to do with ghost lore is so up in the air that the individual steps of how it gets from the start of this episode to the murder are still a bit muddy to me, especially considering what happens during the latter half of this being very, like, a lot of things happen.
You think ghosts have anything to do with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hera.
Not even considered on my board. The thing is, like, ghosts are something real and exists, but very rarely do they actually pertain to the points of the case, except in, like, case 2 of that, of game
Hey,
2.
Hera. Hey, Hera. Let's have a little conversation about every single case where we've had either Maya or Pearl with us in the courthouse.
Right, but that is not central to the events of the case that we're solving.
No, but
That
it's
is just
central to
something
the
that
Fae
happens.
family, and this case is all about them.
Alright.
I'm just
I
saying.
just don't think there's any ghost stuff happening.
I think if there isn't, then this case will be worse off for it.
Okay, that's bold. I just think if you want to kill someone, you don't need a ghost to do it for you. You can just do it.
No, You're misunderstanding the function
And
of the
that's
ghost.
kind of the moral of case 2 in game 2 is that you can just kill someone. You don't need a ghost to do it. That's just the distraction.
You know what? She makes a very good point, is the thing. You don't need a ghost. No, but ghosts can have their
I would
own
argue
agenda.
every case in this game series.
You know what we did learn from that case, Hera, is that ghosts can be violent and malevolent.
That's not true.
It didn't happen in that case, but that was something that was talked about constantly.
You're falling for the propaganda campaign.
You're right, ghosts not real. Nothing we've ever seen has been real.
I'm not saying the ghosts aren't real. I just think they're chill.
They're wearing demon warding hoods.
Well, that might not be real.
Is the insinuation like I could believe what you're getting at, but to believe in that assumption would to believe that everything about this entire temple is a complete fucking farce.
It might be. We don't know what Maya's been up to.
We don't. I think I have an idea as to what she might have been up to.
I also have an idea. I'm interested to see if it's the same. We'll get there.
We'll get there. There's a lot of theorizing that can be done.
18-hour theory at the end of this where Devin and I just sit very quietly.
We get to pretend to be the podcast audience.
Here's the fucking thing that pisses me off, is narratively and thematically, Hera's ideas, I think, are just as valid and understandable as mine. I think the thing is just the individual themes we want this narrative to tackle are, like, coming from different perspectives. Because I want this to be dealing entirely with everything to do with the Fae family and the Branch family, because branches have come up so many times in the conversation with this. It has to involve recurring characters that we've seen in the past. Characters that, for all intents and purposes, should be dead. Hence,
Why?
ghosts. Because the court system kills people when they get arrested for murder.
Okay. Well, this is like I'm just not sure if this is a thing or not. Like, I just can't figure out whether people get executed when they get convicted for murder.
That's the thing that's throwing me now too, because
There's no
I'm
consistency here.
I am certain people have definitely been killed by the court system. Because
Phoenix
the
himself
entire...
says that Dahlia should be in jail, not dead.
Yeah, he does, and that's what throws me, because I remember entirely in 1.5 with, what was the prosecutor's name in 1.5, the lesbian prosecutor in 1.5? Someone help.
Lana Sky.
Thank you. Lana Sky constantly talks about how the serial killer should have been murdered by the court for being a murderer. He should have been executed. And that was something that was reflected even by Emma, which is funny and fucked up. But, like, it established a precedent in that, even though it was, like, a case that was added later, it was still chronologically in a previous game, that the court system does execute people when they are murderous. But then Dahlia's here, and she should be dead. But there is so much... There is one major inconsistency with Dahlia that I cannot figure out. And that's going to be something that's going to be nagging at me until we next play this game. But we'll get to that, because there is still a potential thing that could mean Iris and Dahlia are separate people. I really don't want it to be true, because I'm so sick of... I'm pretty sure I said this in the last case as well. I'm so sick of people being disguised as other people. I think it's lazy storytelling.
I feel like the conversation with Edgeworth clears this one up.
It doesn't for me, but we'll get into that when we get to it. Hi, we're still in the law office, by the way.
Well, look, we don't have to be confined by the rules that we made. We can go wherever the hell we want.
We do. That's the thing, is we already do that. But we've been off track for a while. Here's the thing. Pearl said she was able to make special reservations at this temple.
Cute.
How did she do that?
Phone them.
If an 8-year-old
Character
called
child.
you and said, "Can I come over?" would you not be like, "Yeah, sure"?
I would be like, do you... Well, firstly, they immediately follow this with anyone has to be escorted by a 20-year-old or older. So I'd say, do you have parents or, like, a guardian who can come with you?
And
Yeah,
she said,
she
"Yeah,
said
famous
yeah."
lawyer Phoenix Wright."
Yeah, and then I'd be like, can you put that guy on the phone instead, please?
No, it's all
No.
it's all sorted. We're going. And
We're
Phoenix is
going.
agreeing because he's like, oh my god, my killer ex-girlfriend is here? Question mark.
Yes, question mark? Big question mark.
And I'm going to take these 2 young people with me to be near her too.
Yeah.
One thing that I immediately saw was that she was wearing a Magatama in that photo, and I was like, fuck, if they actually make counter Magatamas real, that would be huge. I don't think they've done that, unfortunately. But it would have been really cool if they did.
But it needs to be charged with the Fae spirit energy.
Yeah, but, like, they've got a lot of memorabilia of the main family at the temple. Fuck, I mean, maybe... maybe, like, the place that Maya went to do her training is, like, a locked tomb, and they've got Ami's corpse in there or some shit. Like, as a sacrosanct sacred relic that they're keeping. Like a Catholic artifact of some saint's bones that they used to reinvigorate their items.
I don't want to disagree with you, but Amy is supposedly in the urn.
That broke.
That broke, and she teleported to the inner temple as Asakura. It was very strange.
Yeah, she's gone. Well, it could also be Misty, but I definitely don't think it's Misty for reasons we'll get into later. Actually, now that I think about it, it could still technically be Misty, but again, we'll get into that later. There is so much to chew on with this fucking case, and we haven't even gotten into the important bits.
I'm
Devin and I
really
having
enjoying
a
all
great
of the
time.
speculation,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here and listening and being like,
Huh.
I think having us play half of a case is mean.
I think it's fun. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
for
about.
you.
Well, let's hit the gas for a while, because the stuff we actually want to talk about is later on.
Well, I do want to talk about the temple, though, and Bikini, because
Sure.
I think
And
Bikini
the
is
nice
great.
music.
Let's go there.
And the nice music. It is really nice music. We take a trip.
It's so nice.
We take a trip to Hazakura Temple. It's cold as hell, and everything's covered in snow. One of the first people we meet is the old lady and head nun of the temple, whose name is Bikini, and she is a very short, plump old lady, and I think her design is absolutely delightful. I really like all of her little animations, and I like the way her jowls jiggle around whenever she talks. It's really, really good.
I know,
good.
so good.
She's
Can we
super
talk
cute.
about the weather for a second? Because I feel like the translators, I know we talk about the translators of these games all the time, but I feel like they set the first game in LA, and when they immediately got to the second game, they went to Korean Village, they were like, oh fuck. And now we are in the snowy mountains
Yeah, the snowy mountains of California.
of in the outskirts of LA.
We don't know how long they traveled for, to be fair.
It's it's pretty far, because it's not pretty far, because we know that from the last case that it was the LA police that were there to apprehend Fall Guide.
And also Gumshoe is here right now, so yeah.
Right. So it's snowy in California.
It's snowing in California. Because I was going to say, Hera, they could have just said that the temple was, like, in another country. They could have just said it wasn't Japan. But you're right, because of the previous case with Terry and the Los Angeles Police Department being involved, it wouldn't really hold water. I guess this is just that they put a mountain in LA.
Welcome to Japan, California.
This is not California. This is Japanifornia. This is where you're all going
Japanifornia. They've got a
horribly
big mountain.
Japanifornia. I can't say that without almost saying the name of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song. Japanifornia
That exists in this world, Japanifornication.
I've only just got what that song title is talking about. Everyone
Me
carry on.
too.
That's awesome. You guys are great. Anyway, this is a world that exists because, like, some billion years ago, a tectonic plate went in a different direction.
Exactly.
Like, the Earth is curved in such a way that after Pangea and everything split apart, Japan and the east coast of America ended up weirdly close together. Did I say the right coastline?
No, but also California's on the east now because of reasons.
Yeah, because of the tectonic plates.
We
Look, I'd
can't
be
talk
lying if
about
I said I
this
knew shit
for
about
any
anything.
longer, because I'm going to bring up World War II, and
We can't.
I've said this on this podcast before, but the canonical reason for Japanifornia, which doesn't explain the mountain, but explains, quote unquote, explains everything else, is that Ace Attorney exists in a utopic world where like anti-Asian racism didn't happen in the US, so there's like a lot more Japanese influence in places.
I would have, if I were drinking
Fuck
water, I
off,
would have
that's
spat it out
wild.
everywhere when you said utopia.
And also the legal system got fucked up. Probably don't
Yeah.
think about whether those things would be related and how that would work.
Everything is literally so fine and dandy except for anything to do with crime.
Yeah. That's
Literally,
fine.
you just shouldn't think about Ace Attorney too hard, ever.
Yeah, we are
we
cinemas
should stop
right
recording.
now. There's a big cool mountain and it rules.
There's a big old mountain of rules. There's a really good temple on it, and
Yeah.
the temple looks really nice. It's a very grandiose temple. Funny little lady come out and talks to you about the temple, and then immediately says, "It's so cold here, you could die from the cold if you're not careful," which is good and fun.
Bikini is her temple name.
Bikini is her temple name. There's a theme that we're gonna pick up on pretty soon about pseudonyms and different names. Well, saying Bikini is her temple name kind of makes it sound like she has a different name when she's not being a nun.
Well, that's the thing
That
that,
is the
happens
implication.
in nunneries, like real nunneries.
Really? I've read a lot about nunneries, and I didn't know about that. I know they take on new names when they become nuns, but
Yeah, I think that's what she means.
but does that mean that if you stopped being a nun, you would get your old name back?
I think that's probably up to you.
Yeah, I guess.
I think
Wow.
if you stop being a nun, then the nunnery doesn't get to tell you what to do anymore. That's kind of an important part of the system.
No, you're right. I never thought about it like that. Phoenix says, after Bikini rambles at him about ghosts and magic, he says, "Wow, she must have gotten off the trolley from the land of make-believe."
Oh, I think everyone was
Completely
enraged
fucked
by
lines.
this.
Yeah.
Really fucked
Everyone
really
was
fucked
fucking
line,
furious.
considering he's seen multiple people channel the spirits of his dead mentor on numerous occasions, and also has a magic amulet that lets him detect when people are lying.
And not just sees those things, but relies on those things. Like, he would be fucked if we didn't have all of that. He'd be the worst
Literally.
lawyer on earth.
But here's the thing. This is just a little too wacky.
Well, this makes sense when you think that he never went to law school or read a single book about law and he can do lawyering. But people training to be spirit mediums, like, again, that's just ridiculous.
He's never read a single book about that either. What did he think Maya was doing when she went to go back to Korean Village for training?
Standing on waterfalls.
He
just
doesn't
relax.
think. Yeah.
He just sort of let stuff happen.
And then Iris appear.
Hey, it's Iris.
Hey, it's Iris.
What are
Wait,
your
we're
thoughts
jumping
about Iris,
ahead.
friends?
We've skipped past another character entirely.
Elise.
We see Iris very briefly before we see Elise, but it's fine. We can talk about Elise.
We see her in a picture. Iris shows up and then like blushes and disappears. But then Elise is there. I really like Elise's design because she looks like a wizard. She looks like an evil wizard. And I just think that's really good. She has a staff with a purple amethyst orb, and she is wearing
This
pink
will
and
be
black
relevant
robes.
later.
This will be relevant later. This will be on the test.
Pearl is a huge fan of her books, which is so cute.
Yes,
So
it's very cute. Here's the thing. Her surname is Dunham. Dunham.
Dunham.
You know you had to Dunham. I thought this was a bit too on the nose.
Say more.
Dunham, French for two names.
Oh.
Yeah,
What's her
Elise
second
and
name?
Dunim.
Yeah, Dunham, it's her second name. It's her surname. But they also hammer this home by later mentioning the fact that no one knew anything about her from before she got famous from making children's books. And I have two thoughts about her as a character, but I think it should wait until after we find out that she gets murdered.
This is one of the very few
Shit,
cases
she
where
gets
we interact with the victim before they die. And it's very sad, because Pearl loves her.
Pearl has the time of her life.
Pearl has the time of her life. Pearl has a great
Hey.
time.
Does she know?
We have no idea, because we have no idea what she's up to.
Does she know?
Well, this is the thing. Elise talks about being so good at books, and Pearl is like, wow, I love all of your books and your picture books. And immediately says some shit that raised a massive red flag, where she said that she was going to be making the dinner for everyone to have at the temple tonight. And she says to Pearl, hey, why don't you come with me and cook the dinner with me? And Phoenix says, oh, that sounds nice. I'll come too. And Elise says, no, just the child. And I don't know, gang. I think that's a little concerning.
I think it's Maya who offers to help.
Yeah, Phoenix
it might
would
have been
never
Maya.
offer to help.
Phoenix does not offer to help.
Yeah, okay. It was Maya who offered to help, but still, she only wants Pearl, and I find that pretty concerning. But it did lead me to my first theory, and that's that Elise is Morrigan. Morgan. Morrigan is the name of the character from the Dragon Age franchise. I just think her name sounds cooler.
I also came to this conclusion, but much later in the case.
I don't know if I hold true to this theory, mainly because she is the victim and not the killer. And I have other theories that might also hold water, but I do think there is something extremely tragic about Elise being a character that creates this persona that makes children's books to reconnect with her child that she lost, only to finally meet with that child once again and then immediately be murdered by a statue of one of her ancestors. I think that's really, really fucked up, actually. I genuinely think that's like a little bit too dark.
Nah.
I don't know, Hera. That's like more fucked up than what happened with Edgeworth and his dad.
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is. I think that's fucking horrific.
Yeah, but it's broadly the same strokes, except that Edgeworth thought that he killed his dad for like 15 years.
Here's the thing. Who's to say that Pearl didn't kill her? We don't know yet.
I mean,
Yeah, we do not know that.
We do not know
it's
yet.
true, we have no idea where she is.
Nowhere to be seen. But do you think Pearl doesn't feel responsible at all for putting Morgan in jail, considering how guilty she feels about everything all of the time?
Fair. It's a good point.
Welcome
Okay,
to
but that
my
was only a
world.
year ago. I guess in 8-year-old time, that's pretty long.
That's
but-
everything. Like, look, if we put all of Edgeworth's grief on a time scale and like graphed it out as to when there was the most grief, you would see like
I
a
would love
massive.
to do this. Thank you so much.
You would see, like, you know what? Maybe I have been watching too many Pretty Good because I'm just thinking about everything in charts and graphs. If you put, I'm literally drawing a line. If you put all of Edgeworth's, let me get this out. Okay, this is important. If you put all of Edgeworth's grief on a line from when he was a child, how old was he when his dad died? 9?
9.
9 years old to current
Wow,
Edgeworth,
the age
who
that
is
Pearl is.
interesting. To the age he currently is, which is 26, I think.
Yeah.
26. What you would be looking at is a chart that starts at a colossal peak, and
Yeah,
then
you're looking at an impulse.
you're looking at a massive peak that gradually declines around when he hits his teenagers years, and then the grief sort of like maintains a certain like a certain passing of a Rubicon that is just consistent with, you know, being a teenager and having some baggage from your childhood. But this is like a different flavor. Right?
There's other factors here, bro. Like he
Yeah,
was
that's
living
what I'm
under a
saying.
psychopath for that time.
Admittedly, a psychopath that would give you like drive and ambition to focus everything in your mind upon like a single direct goal that would push everything else aside. Do you think Edgeworth like spared much of a thought to the death of his father while he was being mercilessly trained by Von Karma to become a weapon of prosecution?
He had nightmares every single night for 15 years. I think he did. I think
No.
he was thinking about it.
I don't think that's
Counterpoint.
true.
Okay.
Morgan isn't dead.
Say more on this.
Well, she might be now, but she wasn't. Powell doesn't know that she's dead.
Well, we don't know that she's alive is the thing. I think it's just as likely that she could be dead as she's alive, because I think the thing that bothers me about Morgan is after that case, I was expecting her to show up in Game 2 when she first appeared, and she didn't, and she was gone for a long time. I don't think this game forgot about her, considering how important everything to do with the Faye family is, but I still hold the possibility that she was... Like, she seems like the kind of person where she would say, if you kill me, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Which is possible because she can turn into a ghost. And this is why I think Ghost is still important, because if Morgan
Everyone
is
can
dead,
turn
then
into
it
a
doesn't...
ghost, throw. That's the point. This is like the Fays are powerful because they can channel the ghost, not because they can become ghosts.
Yeah, okay, but like the point I'm getting at is like Morgan knows that there's an afterlife, and I think that gives her an advantage.
I need to know the like ghost play-by-play that you're imagining here, because
Listen.
There is like a level of strategy to this that I can't even comprehend, and I want to be on. I want to be on this ride.
Listen. Morgan dies and becomes a ghost.
When
She gets killed by the state for being complicit in the
she
murder
does not
of-
get killed by the state because
We
she
don't
didn't
know
kill
that.
anyone. She didn't kill anyone.
She was assisting a homicide. She was
Conspiracy
actively
isn't the same
complicit
thing as
in...
doing it.
We don't know how fucked up this legal system is, Hera. I think they're not above killing someone for being complicit in the acts that would lead to a homicide. She wanted someone to die.
I feel like there was something in the language. You're going to make me look up this case now. There was
She
something
wanted
in
someone
the
to die, and
language
she
that
went
was
through
like,
rigorous
she's
steps.
not.
She was trying to get Maya killed.
All right, I'm doing it.
She was trying to
What was
get
that
Maya
case
killed
called?
so that Pearl could inherit the Korean channeling technique. That's not speculation.
I'm really enjoying listening to this podcast.
Me too.
I feel like I'm on a different podcast this time. I should have written notes. I should have, like, prepared a statement.
I think we're all on different podcasts today. I think that's alright. We'll each get an hour-long segment to just yell about things.
This isn't even the thing I was planning on yelling about today.
Oh, surprise yelling.
She gets put in solitary confinement.
Yeah, that's what happens at the end of that case, and she's like, "You'll probably see me again at some point," but I don't know what to take away from that for someone who knows that
Dahlia
you
should
become a
still
ghost.
be in jail, according to Phoenix.
Dahlia should still be in jail according to Phoenix, and that did happen
despite
before.
everything, I do trust Phoenix to understand a little bit about the legal system.
Yeah, I would
That
hope
seems
so.
like a huge mistake.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is we don't have clear-cut lines on what happens to people when they leave that courthouse. Like, what is the specific threshold that leads to them getting executed by the state?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's throwing a wrench into this. Regardless, we got so off track. I was talking about Edgeworth's grief spectrum. Why are we talking about Morgan?
I don't think Edgeworth was a part of this. You were talking about Pearl's grief spectrum.
Oh yeah, I was talking about
You were
Edgeworth in
comparing it to
relation to
Edgeworth,
Pearl.
but that's what the origin point was.
I think Pearl's peak isn't as high as Edgeworth's peak, but I think Pearl holds that grief in her for longer, is basically what I'm saying.
She seems fine.
I don't know. I don't think she does seem fine. Every time she's pressed or questioned about anything, she becomes like the most reclusive person in the world, and she is so desperate for someone who reminds her of her mother. I think that's the
She
main
does
thing.
have Maya. Edgeworth did not have Maya.
Edgeworth
Had
did
Fran,
not have
but it's
Maya.
not quite the same.
They had a really normal relationship, I'm sure.
Yeah, totally.
They continue to have a really normal relationship.
Pearl does imprint on Elise immediately in a way
Yes.
that I am lending Rose. Pearl is looking for someone who reminds her of, or not even reminds her of her mother, but a mother figure.
Baby duck, baby duck, baby duck. Just like what's on the cover of all those law books. Baby duck.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is so fucked because this was talking, like, going back, this was talking about a theory that I wasn't even considering as, like, the definitive fact of the case. Morgan could be Elise. That's all I really need to say on that. I forget what other thing we were talking about. I've forgotten most of what the conversation me and
Well, we
Hera
were just
having
talking
was.
about Elise. We
Yeah.
were just doing theories on Elise.
Another theory I have on Elise is that Elise could be Misty. But I have less to...
My argument against that is why would she have picked Pearl instead of Maya?
I think
that
that
scenario?
is the main thing I'm thinking. But the only reason that I think it could have been Misty is because she died. And I think it makes more sense narratively for Misty to be the victim than it does for Morgan to be the victim, because it just makes more sense in my head that Morgan would be the perpetrator of the murder rather than the victim of the murder itself. However, we do have a lot of different characters at play, and I think overall, considering all the factors, it does make more sense for Elise to be Morgan. But then we got to think about who the killer could be. Because I think it would be fucked if the killer was Misty, but also kind of cool.
Well, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Speaking of getting to it,
We're gonna go and look at a bridge.
we're going to go look at a bridge.
You know what? I changed my mind. Let's do it now. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Because you said it now. The cat's out of the bag. This is what I think happened.
Okay, go for it.
Yes.
I think the facts of this case, again, getting ahead of ourselves, are a woman was stabbed in the back by a member of her family, in this case being the statue of Army, much like the previous case, which had some foreshadowing towards this one. Mm-hmm. And, well, who do we know as Morgan's family? Who do we know as Morgan's sister?
Misty.
Misty.
I like the notion that Misty is evil. I think that's good.
People who kill people aren't always evil. I
That's
think this is
true.
a very important fact
Well,
of this.
I don't know, because I feel like killing Morgan, like, in the situation that played out, I feel like killing Morgan was an act of malice. I think motive is the thing I'm struggling with right now, because I don't know what good reason... The only reason I could have for Misty killing Morgan is because she thought Morgan was going to be a
I'm going
danger
to stop you
Pearl
there,
and
Ro.
Ryan.
I think we should talk about this later.
You're the one who said now!
don't want to ascribe motive to it.
Okay.
Because this is ultimately what we're going to talk about when we get to the end, and we're going to be like, what happens next, right?
Yeah, it is. Can we talk about a bridge?
There's a bridge. It's the same
Dusty
one.
Bridge.
Is it the same one?
Dusty
It
Bridge.
looks different in the picture.
It is the same one because one of the details of that case is that there's a temple a 20-minute walk away.
Yeah, but in the picture, when you see Trenchcoat and Terry on that bridge, the bridge looks like flat rather than droopy.
But that could just be an inconsistency in the art.
Well, we know that the bridge has been somewhat repaired because it was broken when that whole case with Dahlia happened, and it is now not broken, except that it immediately breaks again.
Yeah, the thing that they keep talking about this bridge, and it does sound like one of the most fucked bridges that's ever existed.
Yeah, but it's totally fine to
But
fall
it doesn't
from
matter
so
if
who
you
This
fall
cares?
off it.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? This sounds like a bridge in a Dark Souls game where you intentionally have to cut it down and turn it into a ladder to get to a secret area. Like, it's rickety as shit, and as soon as you walk on it, you hear, like, a specific sound effect that tells you immediately that it's gonna fall apart in 5 seconds unless you get to the end.
Phoenix Wright could survive in Dark Souls.
Phoenix Wright could survive in Dark Souls, but as per, I think Edgeworth says this much later in the case, I don't know whether you could call it good luck or bad luck.
Yeah.
Maya immediately tells Phoenix to kill himself by jumping off the bridge to get over his fear of heights.
She does do that, yeah.
She does do that, it's very good.
And then we go across the bridge, and Phoenix has a terrible time.
He does. This is so foreshadowing. Like, this was so foreshadowing Phoenix falling off of the bridge. Hera, did you think Phoenix was going to fall off the bridge?
The reason that I thought Phoenix was going to fall off the bridge is because of something that was mentioned last episode, which I didn't even notice, which is that Phoenix was in hospital when he was looking into that case.
Oh.
I don't
And
get why
I
that was
did not
there.
notice that when I was playing that case.
Is the narrative we're supposed to construct that everything that happened in case 1 and case 4, was just Phoenix remembering it while he was in hospital?
Yeah, basically. It's not, like, case 1 is not, like, framed really in any way, but, like, it kind of makes sense that Phoenix is like, here's the 2 things that I remember that, like, are based on this fucking bridge that I just fell through, and I'm in the hospital, so I'm going through my memories and the stuff that happened.
Case 1 ends with Phoenix being like, what was happening then reminds me of what I'm dealing with right now. But then it goes immediately
Case
from
2
that
is
to
about
case
the
2.
things we do for love.
The whole game is that!
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not even thinking about it the whole time.
We're across the bridge now, and there's a cavern, and Maya's gonna go in there.
There's another thing that is before that, and it's one of my favorite characters that shows up in these cases. It's the incinerator.
Oh, I did not see this.
I love the incinerator. The incinerator is one of my favorite characters in Ace Attorney because it immediately becomes so obvious that something bad is going to happen here. Also, source of fire. Fire burn bridges down really easily, and also a lot of this place is made out of wood. And
Fire
also
good
for getting
because
rid of
it's
evidence.
cold.
Fire good because it's cold, but an incinerator isn't for keeping warm, it's for burning stuff away.
It could have a dual purpose.
I mean, they wouldn't call it an incinerator if it was for keeping warm. They would call it a heater. Or a heat incinerator if it had a dual purpose.
Sure. What happens here? We go inside?
Yeah, we look at the little inner temple. It's like run down a bit. It's covered in snow. We go inside, and there is a scary crystal portal hidden behind a jail cell. This room
Fucking cool. So spooky.
is spooky. You know what it reminds me of? And it's going to take me a minute to explain this. It reminds me of the security room in Case 2, because it feels so, like, separate from everything that came before, thematically, almost. If it weren't for the hanging scroll of Misty on the wall, there's a hanging scroll of Misty on the wall, by the way, famous head of the Korean channeling technique. If it weren't for that, this would feel like a completely separate environment to everything else that we've experienced so far, because it's so strange looking. It's like a jail cell built inside of a giant crystal geode that has had a shack constructed around it. It's very weird. It's cool as hell.
It's a place of great spiritual power.
Yeah, because everyone knows that all spiritual power comes from the big crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never seen, like, we've seen Korean Village, but we've only seen, like, very, like, public parts of Korean Village. And we've had Maya be like, oh, one of the ways that you get good at spirit mediuming is go and stand under a big waterfall. So we know there's, like, other shit going on.
Yeah. And they do mention at a later point that there is, like, a colossal Magatama somewhere in Korean Village that's, like, so big.
I'm sad
that
we
they
didn't get
couldn't...
to see that.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was... What was that stone that was in Korean Village that they said, like, held the souls of a bunch of people?
That's just the stone that holds the souls of a bunch of people.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it links up, right? What if something like that breaks? What if something like that broke? What if this was a geode that held the souls of a bunch of people and then it broke? And they put jail cell bars on it to stop the souls getting out.
That'd be pretty cool. When you examine the scroll on the wall, says that she does not remember her mother's face.
I mean, I had a picture of it I could have shown to her in the first game.
Yeah, she doesn't recognise it then, does she? She just kind of says she seems familiar or something.
I don't actually remember, but it's also sad.
It's really, really, really fucking sad.
Who wants to meet a mysterious stranger in this crystal cave?
Ooh,
Everybody.
go on then.
Donkey Kong music would go hot as hell in this setting. Sorry, Donkey Kong country music specifically. So we hit Dahlia Hawthorne's theme is the thing.
Yeah.
But we are met with a person whose name is question marks.
Cool name. I wonder how you say it.
What?
Oh yeah, you've done this before.
Ha! Clearly I've met her before.
It's Iris.
So, what's going on with her?
It's Iris. She is wearing the monk robes, the same kind that Bikini wears, featuring hood and cloak and pink. It's immediately obvious that she recognizes Phoenix. They've given her a bunch of new facial animations, and I want to talk about this for a minute, because I remember Devon saying something in the first case about Dahlia that was something along the lines of, like, this game almost makes you associate innocent people, like purity and innocence, with someone who is inevitably going to turn out to be guilty. And they added so many more sprites that are specifically designed to make her look pure and innocent, quote unquote, because they added a sprite of her blushing, a sprite of her looking surprised, a sprite of her, like, brimming with tears. Just a lot of these little things that make her seem like, A, a different person than the person that she was when she stood on trial for poisoning and murdering people, and B, like, someone who is, like, much more removed from the previous cases than before, like someone who's gone through stuff, perhaps. We don't know. There is a lot of different little itty-bitty bits of dialogue that sort of don't mesh well with me, because there are times where she says things that make it seem like, oh yeah, I am the person who killed all those people, but I'm trying to be nice about it now. And then there's other times where she says stuff like, oh, I've, like, lived in this temple my whole life. I've never stepped outside of this place. The Mother Superior is like my mother to me. I don't know who Phoenix is. I don't know who Edgeworth is. I don't know who Mia Fey is. I've never seen a bottle of poison. I've never once had red hair.
Well, consider this, is that the person she says the second stuff that you've mentioned is to Phoenix. And the person she says the first thing to is Edgeworth. The inconsistency is because she is lying to Phoenix.
But Phoenix specifically points out that she doesn't trigger any psych locks when Phoenix addresses her about her past.
It's because she's got her own counter Magatama.
This is what I'm saying! If that's legit, I think that's awesome. But I have a feeling that it also might not be, because they do so much stuff that alludes to the notion that all other Magatamas that aren't, like, legitimate, charged Fae family relics are just complete bullshit and don't
I think
work.
it's simpler than that. I think what it is that Phoenix just didn't ask the right question. Because later on you do get Cyclops from her.
You get Cyclops from her specifically about her hiding a secret to do with what happened on the night of the murder. And there is one other time where I think it's specifically to do with... Is it to do with her past? I can't exactly remember. There's 2 instances where you see 5 Cyclops from her.
I don't think that's true. There's only 2 instances of 5 Cyclops, and one of them is from her, and the other one is from a character that we have not met yet. You get 2 Cyclops when you ask her about the night of the murder.
Oh, okay, all right, but still, I'm so lost.
Okay, let me take it. We skipped over something when we were talking to Elise. Is that she mentions that she has an assistant called Loris. This immediately registered as suspicious to me on account of the fact we hadn't met the zany returning character yet.
It
This
blows
is
my
about to be
mind that you immediately
proved
picked
correct.
up on this.
Because who is Loris?
He's an artist.
That's true.
He's the artist formerly known as Larry.
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Larry Butts. This guy sucks.
This guy stinks.
This guy sucks.
I didn't expect him to see him, is the thing. But also, this did lend credence to my du nom theory about it just being French for 2 names, so it meant that Elise was also an assumed pseudonym.
It's Dunom
No.
because Larice has also taken the name Dunom, so now there's 2 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Ah,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Also, I didn't really immediately pick up that this is Larry because the name Loris just makes me think of the monkeys.
Hilarious.
I didn't know it was going to be Larry. I just something it didn't register. It didn't pass the sniff test.
That's a lawyer's intuition right there, Hera.
Larry is here because he wants to make a new life for himself. However, he has become very distracted on this path by Iris.
That new life includes Iris.
Imagine turning up to a location to question a woman who you think is your ex-girlfriend who tried to kill you, and your childhood best friend is there trying to woo her.
Woo is a very loose,
Nightmare
like
when that
nice
happens.
word for what he's doing.
For what he's doing, yeah.
So what Loris is doing is he's trying to pursue a holy path of righteousness, and from his perspective alone, he is being swayed by the temptations of mortal man. This man acts in creep behavior, the likes of which we have never seen from Larry before, and this extends to a point where he's essentially forging blackmail scenarios to try and get Iris to even acknowledge him, which is so fucked.
He specifically is writing letters that come across as complete blackmail. Like, that's the kind of trick of this opening investigation, is that we immediately find, like, right after the murder, because obviously there's this opening bit where, like, all the characters are introduced and everything's, like, very chill, and it's like, oh, what's happening? Then Elise is murdered. The first thing we do is find a blackmail letter, and we're like, oh my god, like, something's going on here. And then basically this whole investigation is proving that Larry just wrote that letter to be like he meant it to be a love letter, and the secret that he was talking about was like, I know that you're secretly in love with me, even though you have never shown me any interest whatsoever. But I just know.
We gotta kill this guy.
We gotta kill this guy.
We have
Damn.
to kill this guy.
We simply must. There's no beating around the bush anymore.
We get interrupted by Pearl, who has made a 20-minute journey to tell us the dinner is ready.
I need to talk about this.
Oh, honeybee.
Please.
So, I need to pull up the actual map of the... Yeah, so in this map, they denote 5 meters. This is the map from Case 4, but it's the same fucking location. They denote 5 meters. They make note that the bridge is 20 meters or 20 feet in length. The whole of the map... There's no fucking way the whole of the map is more than, 100 meters in length based on that metric. Maybe 200 at most. And the notion that it takes 20 minutes to get from the temple to the bridge is really funny.
What you can't see is it's actually just a cliff face, and they have to scramble up the side of a fucking cliff, and that's why it takes.
It's
When
actually-
Japan moved into the middle of the Pacific Ocean because of the Atlantic Ocean because of the Pangea situation. Also, all distances got fucked up.
Yeah.
But I think the second map doesn't have the units of measurement,
It doesn't,
so
but
it
I
can
was
be
still
more
thinking about it.
representative.
But you can still, like, think about how they say that the bridge is 20 units in length, and then just proportionalize everything else. And it doesn't make a lick of sense. Anyway, it takes 20 minutes to get from the temple to get to the bridge. And Paul went all that way to tell us that dinner was ready. And to get
Then
us
we
to stop
never
talking to
see
Larry.
her again.
Then we never see her
To
again.
be fair, she was used to running like 14 hours just to get from home.
No,
to
she's
court.
there at
Like,
dinner.
Forgot
This
about
is
that.
just like nothing for her.
Yeah, she's a professional sprinter, actually.
It's true. Yeah,
true.
she challenged the fast ghost, remember?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The ghost of Christmas Fast.
We get a lot more Pearl at dinner, having the time of her life. Elise wants her to come to her room.
Also a red flag. This is where I locked in my theory that it was Morgan. Me and Hera both made jokes about the roast Gravely thing. The Gravely roast thing.
What was with that?
I don't remember.
Maybe that was a fun joke.
It was a fun joke that they did.
Maybe it was a fun joke they did.
I wrote something here which says there really is something about Larry being basically the only person Phoenix is consistently on the same page with. And I don't remember what this was specifically about. I know it was about previously Larry was selling Phoenix on the book The Magic Bottle, which is the one Elise wrote. And Phoenix was like, wow, that sounds great. He wouldn't say that to anyone else in the world. I do not remember what they were talking about in this scene, but they're just friends. Phoenix acts like Larry sucks all the time, and we know that's true. But Phoenix and Larry are the same, I think.
Yeah, concerningly so sometimes.
Yeah.
Dahlia comes to find you in the morning after it turns out Pearl has gone missing. Not
This
in
is
the
in
morning.
the night.
This
This
is in
is
the middle of the night. This is like
around
2 a.m.
10 p.m.
This is at like 3 in the morning.
It's 10 p.m. because
It's
Dahlia
10
has to
p.m.
ring the bell for lights out.
Her name
yeah.
is Iris.
Her name is Iris.
Sorry, Iris.
Iris bumps into you in the middle of the night and says, "Hey, Mr. Wright, I'm going to need you to take my hood. It will protect you against demons. I've got to go." And then Phoenix is like, "Hey, are you certain that you don't know anything about me?" And then 5 Cyclops show up.
Oops.
Which is the most there's ever been.
The most there's ever big. Well, technically, there was one instance before where there were 5 and it was a goof.
No, I didn't, Matt on Guard have 5 as well.
I was actually thinking of Old Bag.
Yeah, I think so.
Old Bag had 5.
I think
sure.
Yeah.
this equals the record, is what I'm saying.
This is the most that there can be. There isn't real estate for any more of those locks on screen. But then she runs away. And then we go out into the courtyard, because I can't remember what specifically makes us go into the courtyard.
I think we're just trying to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, weird place for a bathroom to be.
What? No, it's not. It's old.
It's freezing outside.
Old places here have outside bathrooms.
I've never been to a place with an outside, but wait, no, that's not true. We go to the courtyard, and lo and behold, the statue of Ami Faye, the founder of the Korean channeling technique. Well, no, is it Misty that's the founder of the Korean channeling technique, or is it Ami?
No, it's Ami.
It is Ami.
Misty
okay.
is the current master.
Yeah.
That's it, yes. Ami, the founder of the Korean channeling technique, her statue that's been cast in solid gold, holding the 7-branch sword, has impaled the body of Elise Dunim. And she is lying dead on the floor, her hair flopping out all over the place, because it was up in like a beehive and now it's flopping out all over the place. Her staff cast to the side. Her famous amethyst sphere, missing from the top of the staff, which is where it was before, and now it's not there anymore.
There's a note that she borrowed all that stuff from the temple, right?
There's a note that she borrowed the clothes from the temple, not the staff.
I think the staff is included in that.
I don't think so. I think it's specifically referring to the pink robes that she's wearing underneath her cloak.
Underneath, so the cloak is also hers, you're saying.
I feel like the cloak fits her vibe.
You know how it is when you're a children's book
You've
author.
only known her in this form. This is her whole vibe.
She's dressed like a fucking wizard. What do you want? She has a vibe. You know what we say
But
about
that's what
Ace
I'm saying,
Attorney
is that
characters
she
and
borrowed all
aesthetic.
the old-timey wizard stuff from the temple.
You know all the old timey
She's a fucking children's
stuff
author.
that the channel is famous for. Why does she need the stuff, Hera?
Because it's on theme.
What theme? Her theme is that she's a wizard, because that's her fucking stuff.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, I think.
I'm just saying, if you went into a temple and you were like, okay, I'm trying to like feel out the space. I really want to incorporate this kind of identity into the next piece that I'm writing. Everyone else is wearing these outfits because they're part of this group of people. I'm gonna adopt that same kind of persona. Not, I'm gonna take the fucking staff and black cape that makes me seem like emperor of these beings.
My argument is that the amethyst on the cane is the exact same as the amethyst on the hoods.
It's a different color.
The lighting was different. We got to agree to disagree on this one.
I feel like me and Hera are literally... I can, like, visualize the camera cutting to either side of the court.
The blue background is cutting in.
Oh,
This is going to require another day of investigation, I think. Anyway, she's dead.
Yeah. She fucking got got.
She fucking
By a
died.
statue, maybe?
Maybe. You run to investigate, and you literally stand on top of Bikini, who's lying on the floor, and she gets upset
There's
that
a
you
squeaky
stand
toy
on her
noise.
tummy. They could have done that. They allocate the sound budget to some disturbing places in this case. You stand on her. She's like, freaking shit. Fuck, everything's falling apart. You've got to go find Mystic Maya. Shit's bad. You've got to go find her or trouble will be. And then you go to Dusky Bridge, which is a 20-minute walk away, apparently. And the bridge is on fire.
Uh-oh.
And the bridge is on fire, guys.
That's not good.
That's not good. It's not only on fire,
What's
it's
inside
really
that
on
bridge?
fire. And Phoenix bumps into Larry, who seems pretty... Sorry, Loris, who seems pretty nonplussed about the whole situation. He is just doing his thing. And you bump into him, and he's like, oh, hey, Phoenix. Out for a nice stroll? Don't mind the burning painting. I'm using this as my muse. To which Phoenix says, Loris, get the fuck out of the way. And then immediately foregoes any desire of his own personal well-being to charge across a burning rope bridge to go find
Wait,
Maya.
he does tell Loris to call the authorities about
He does
the
tell
murder,
Loris to call the authorities,
which is why
which...
he went there in the first place.
Yes.
Because Phoenix left his phone at home for some reason.
Look, this
Yeah,
was like
such
2016.
early 2000s behavior.
2019.
This was 2019, and phones hadn't been invented yet.
Right.
Not in the way we know them. Anyway, he runs. Turns out running across a burning rope bridge that was already in a state of severe disrepair is a really bad idea, and the bridge breaks and he falls and then he dies. And then that's the end of Phoenix Wright, the video game series.
Yeah.
This case could end with him being dead.
Oh, say more.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's the last one.
Here's the last one. I think it would have been funny if he died and then Edgeworth had to take over.
I think that would be sad for Edgeworth, but yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see his grief chart spike.
Oh, jeez. Just like a big bell at 9 to like 16, and then it plateaus, and then there's just a massive spike at 26.
This is the
I'm rolling
thing,
my
is
hands
Edgeworth was
together.
best when he was more traumatized. I don't like this healed
Literally
Edgeworth. I want
so
him
true.
fucked up.
So
His
true.
Literally
sister
so
got
true.
shot
Fuck that
a year
man
ago,
up.
by the way.
She
Oh,
was
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
blip
you're
in
fine.
the chart
Probably
there.
laughed at her about it.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think this game has to either end with Phoenix dying or retiring.
Well, one of those is more likely in like in a scenario where you play as a lawyer and don't fight anyone ever.
Look, I'm just saying every case he's ever done is involving murder.
All right.
And he has been accused of it before. Who's to say he can't be the victim of it?
Someone, the person on the unnamed character that we haven't met in the second day of the case is gonna summon their legion of ghosts, their army
genuinely-
that they've been preparing, and they all conduct force lightning into Phoenix.
No, he's gonna become the host of every ghost that's been trapped in that jail cell.
And die.
And die.
And
And die. Martyr of the damned. Phoenix Wright.
And then Maya's gonna have to channel Phoenix so he can defend his own killer in court, but because of the death that he somehow forgot who killed him.
Can we stop writing a better Phoenix Wright game right now?
We literally do this every episode,
One where
Jay.
he dies.
We literally do this every episode.
It's
Okay,
not like it's
we
hard.
got a to be continued screen.
Look, one of the best parts of Ace Attorney is coming up in its defense.
Okay, yeah.
It's the best fucking thing in the world.
Okay.
Nothing is more important than this.
We fade in from the to be continued screen. We are in a new perspective. Who are we playing as?
We're playing as Miles Edgeworth. We get to be Miles Edgeworth and live in his shoes.
I'm so happy.
How did we feel about this?
This was me, like, rising out of the sea, like those guys at E3 when Twilight Princess was revealed.
Hell yeah.
That means absolutely nothing to me. Twilight Princess?
Oh, you know,
I post
you know
that
the
image
meme.
in our server literally all the time, bro.
I've never... I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about.
You'll know it when you see it. I think you just don't know it's about fucking Twilight Princess.
Probably. Post it again so I know what you're
would love
talking
to
about.
see it.
Yeah,
if
I'm
it's
posting
available.
it right now.
Thank you.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
the
I
four
thought
of
you
us.
said... I thought you said Rising Out of the Sea.
that's what I heard.
I thought they'd done some, like, 2019 E3 shit for Twilight Princess, where they had, like, a giant fucking, like, stage with actors rising out of the sea, like something out of the Bible. I was like, are you sure you're not thinking of, like, Death Stranding 2?
Or do you want to talk about...
Well,
Oh, go ahead, Devin.
I was just about to yell about how this is the greatest moment of my entire life for about
And
25
please...
minutes. So I think Ro should go first.
No, please. This is so important to me.
I don't even have anything to corroborate it. It's just the best part of the entire game. It's wonderful. You get to play as Miles fucking Edgeworth. I am so biased towards this stupid, awful man who is terrible, and I love being him, and I love
Fuck yes.
that it changed the entire tone of the game in some ways. Like, he's terrible, but somehow it's not as bad as Phoenix.
Here's the thing I've learned about us as a group. We like people who are bad.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
We like people who are bad who don't pretend to be self-righteous, which is what Phoenix Wright does. Edgeworth is just like, I will fucking arrest anyone who gets in my way. And I respect that.
I will say this extremely fits my threequel diagnosis as the...
I thought your threequel diagnosis is that the third one sucks.
That's part of it, but another part of it is that you often play as other characters. They do a lot of jumping around.
I'd like to see like a
threequel, 'cause they're
written
like-
theorem as to how this works.
Of the theorem of the threequel.
The threequel theorem. That's a really hard thing to say.
That one doesn't hold as well. I'm thinking very specifically about Sly Cooper 3, where they have like so many characters that you play as that it's just like it's getting out of hand. I don't know. There's more than one threequel that does it. There's a precedent for this.
The only Sly Cooper character I know is Bentley.
Yeah, you actually play as him in all three of them.
I just remember him because he's named after a car.
Yeah. Is anyone named after a car in this trilogy?
Can we
this
please
game.
talk about Miles Edgeworth?
No, we're on a new thread
We
now.
rated 3 games for this, please.
Edgeworth is here. We're playing as him. He is in a different country. He has been
Not
here
for
for
long.
a year.
I don't remember him ever leaving the country again. I know Francesca
was-
left.
That's when he allegedly named Godot as the best prosecutor in the country as he left.
I
And
forgot
then we
that.
find out that he's never heard of Godot, so I guess Godot made that up.
Well, it was Gumshoe that said it.
It's true. However, we did know he was in Europe, and now he's back, and he's so normal.
And he's finally
So
here.
fine.
He took a
Perform-
private
Oh.
jet.
He chartered a private jet to get here as fast
He
as
chartered a
possible.
private
As
jet.
soon as he heard word from
worried about his boyfriend.
his childhood friend that he's known since childhood, Loris, told him, Jesus Christ, Edgeworth, you've got to get over here. Phoenix Wright is going to die. And he charters a private jet across the world to get there as fast as possible. And without even saying a single word to Loris, he immediately goes to Phoenix's side. And it turns out he just kind of had a cold.
How did you feel about this, Ro?
How did I feel about this? So here's the thing. I am someone who is a lesbian.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. I'm very proud of that. I am someone who really doesn't give a shit about romance narratives if that's like the forefront of a story being told. Like, I would never go out of my way to watch something or like even interact with most anything kind of media if romance is the thing that it's trying to sell me on. But this hit for me.
Yes!
This hit in a way that I don't know if I've ever felt before, and I don't know how to contend with that, to be honest. There is something so like deep-seated about Phoenix and Edgeworth's weird, unrequited, not like angsty, never actually talking to each other about it situationship that they've got going on. That like I can't even begin to understand it. It's just like, Jesus Christ, both of you are like the most obnoxious, stupid, arrogant, idiotic people I've ever met. You cannot stop thinking about each other, and you have to kiss each other on the mouth.
They have to kiss each other on the mouth.
It is
How's that
insane.
happen?
They're so stupid.
They're so dumb.
I am so close to getting back into reading fanfiction again, and it's fucking terrible. I can't do this anymore. This makes me very happy.
I'm glad.
You are also ruined by this game.
I am.
It's true.
I am. And like, I mean it. Like, I really don't know what it is about this that worked for me, but I can't think of another fictional romance that I really ever gave a shit about. There definitely has been some. Like, I know how to read a book or two, and I have read plenty of books, and I know about words and language and literature and themes and narrative and constructs and stories and etc. etc. And like, I know how good relationships are written. Maybe it's just because way too many of them have been straight. I don't know. But I think this like wormed its way through all of my defenses somehow.
For me, like, I think what's so good about Naramitsu, the ship, is just like the yearning potential, but then whenever they interact, it's not like there's like the kind of just like sexual chemistry and awkwardness. They just fucking hate
They
each
hate each other.
And it's
They
so
hate each
good. Like, they are at odds all the time. They're constantly arguing. And yet, you know that the second they're not around each other, they're yearning. And it's that perfect, just like, God, these two just need to kiss so bad. It's great. It's great. I love it. It's perfect.
It is really good. And it's like it's so fucking undeniable as well as the thing. And here's the thing. You play as Edgeworth. And you get to be Edgeworth. And Edgeworth has his little cult profiles of everyone he's interacted with so far. One thing that immediately struck me as very strange is his cult profile of Loris refers to him as one of his best friends since grade school. He didn't talk to that motherfucker for like 15 years.
Doesn't have a lot of options.
Same goes for Phoenix. That is a very true point, Hera.
Homeschooled.
But like, I don't think you can call someone your best friend since grade school if you haven't been friends with them since grade school.
My question is, how the hell did Larry get Edgeworth's number? Like, I'm sure Edgeworth would not have given Larry his number.
Yellow pages, called the switchboard.
Loris is Phoenix's emergency contact.
Well, yeah, but... Wait, Loris is?
Yeah, because if Edgeworth is trying to call Phoenix and he can't get through to Phoenix, who else is he going to call to make sure that Phoenix is okay?
But Larry called Edgeworth.
No,
Edgeworth's
but I'm
like asleep and
I'm
his phone's
saying,
ringing.
Devon, that if there is
Okay.
if there are these people in these kind of relationships, Edgeworth isn't just gonna have Phoenix's phone number. He needs a backup.
Which would be Maya. I just can't believe Edgeworth would have Loris's number anywhere near him.
Edgeworth doesn't know
Or
how to
vice
fucking talk
versa.
to girls or children.
Oh yeah, that's true. Or human beings.
Or anyone that he didn't meet when he was
Phoenix.
9 years old. That might actually be
also-
true,
it's
and I
also
could
Lena.
examine that very deeply, is the thing.
We go to the detention center, and we're
We
met
get
by
new music?
Loris. Yeah, there is new music here. It's after this conversation with Loris. I didn't make a single note about this conversation. Edgeworth reveals that he went to see Phoenix first,
Very good, very good, very good, very good.
and that Phoenix is basically fine. Phoenix handed over all the evidence that we've got, and also his badge. And the Magatama.
Wonder why.
Is the Magatama his to give? He borrowed it from Pearl, right?
He borrowed it from Maya. Well, Maya gave it
from
to
Maya.
him.
And Paul juiced
Maya
it for him.
Maya very strongly implies that she lent it to him in
It does.
I think,
The description
case
of it
3
does
this
say
game.
borrowed for most of the games.
Yeah,
Well, Edgeworth needs
Edgeworth has
it.
it now. And I guess Maya is trapped on a mountain because she's still on the other side of that bridge. So naturally, the first thing I did when I gained control here was to examine as many things as possible because we got a new point of view.
It's very good, the conversations that you get from examining things as Edgeworth.
If you examine either the camera or the guard, Edgeworth gives you this piece of wisdom, question mark, that he was taught that says if someone glares at you, it's only polite to return the favor.
That's wisdom.
I think this guy had a normal upbringing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Also, if you try and leave without talking to Iris, he says going into a crime scene is akin to entering a jungle, teeming with dangerous beasts. Before he goes there, a hunter needs to make sure he has plenty of ammunition, and in my case, ammunition is called information.
He's so normal.
Wow.
Infonition.
I love this man.
There is a really, really funny bit in the
He's
conversation
perfect.
with Larice that I just want to go back to, where
Sure.
he says, "I've heard a paper badge full the whole call before." It's a very
Yeah.
fun
Oh my
callback.
God, best line.
Something I'm never going to stop thinking about is that and that it was a thing that happened and wasn't just a fever dream we all collectively shared.
No, it's something that happened.
Really, really bad. God damn. That case is really just like a stain on this game.
That's it. It's been tied in now.
Yeah.
It's connected.
But yeah, now it's canon.
Now it's canon.
That whole case was setting up the fact that you can simply lie about being a defense attorney and it works
true.
out.
Yeah, that's what that was precedent for.
You absolutely do not have to hand it to that case, but, like, for example, maybe we would think about Fury Tigre as a Phoenix Wright lookalike, and then think about some of the things that are happening in this case and think, well, they were trying to do something thematic.
Yeah.
Interesting that Edgeworth doesn't remember Dahlia.
I had a running joke in my notes where I kept urging playable characters to listen to the themes of the people that they were talking to.
Pretty good running joke.
But Edgeworth hasn't heard this theme in like 6 years, right? So he might not be clear on it.
This thing, I'm of two minds about Edgeworth remembering this versus not. Because on the one hand, it was his very first case, and he almost lost it, and he watched someone die at the court when it happened. That seems like something that would stick with you. On the other hand, I literally don't think Edgeworth ever spares any of his conscious thought towards women.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I don't know, I feel like maybe at that point he was probably so Von Karma pilled, he was just like, oh, you're just like an ant to me. Witness or criminal or whatever.
Do you remember the shape of the individual ants that you've crushed?
Well, Edgeworth didn't. Edgeworth was defending her.
Do you remember the shape of the individual ants that you've gently pushed out the way?
They're all shaped like ants.
Title.
I've got
We
good
have
news.
another
I've got
ant
good
title,
news. They're all shaped the same. They're ants.
I'm conflating two things, which is the ant line, and then do you remember the shape of the peanuts that you throw to pigeons? The ant one is different.
Oh.
I don't even remember that second one.
I don't remember either
So,
of these.
Victor Kudo?
I have the text of the entire Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy series imprinted on the inside of my brain, and I have for 15 years,
transcript
and that's
is in
why
your
I'm
I
brain.
like this.
fully believe you.
I know.
Yeah. No one would ever doubt you or Devon actually for having that level of knowledge about this series. And I do remember the ant line because I thought it's like one of Von Karma's most funniest lines. But it does make sense for the other one to be from Victor Kudo, a man who loves throwing shit at pigeons.
So true.
Dahlia Crying Sprite. Me talking about how Dahlia is irredeemable because she did kill a lot of people. This was me still thinking that Iris was just a persona she was putting on to hide the fact that she was going to kill someone soon.
She mentions that she was at the temple for atonement.
Yeah, so this is the thing, is there's constantly this push and pull between whether it's the same person or not, because there's Cyclops when you ask her about her past, but there's not Cyclops when you ask her about her murders that she did.
Curious.
Curious.
Something's going on.
Curious things
Say
going on.
what it is.
Speaking of Cyclops, Edgeworth has a spiritual awakening.
Yeah, so I compared Edgeworth a lot to Seto Kaiba in this section, a man who also famously actively says that he doesn't believe in anything supernatural in spite of constantly talking to people that are being possessed by ghosts. It's really dumb, because, like, Phoenix, when Phoenix makes fun of it, is usually because, like, I don't know, Bikini's, like, entire life is devoted to this supernatural force that he doesn't understand on levels beyond, oh, sometimes Mia turns into Maya, I mean, vice versa. Maya turns into Mia, and that means I can solve cases good, and sometimes I can tell when people are lying. But, like, Edgeworth is literally just, like, every single thing you're talking about is completely bullshit and is not even remotely supported by scientific or empirical evidence. To which it's just like... He says, I am a man of science.
He might be wrong about this.
Yeah, but it takes a bit of convincing.
Would like to talk about Edgeworth's grief for a second.
Yes, let's get back to the charts.
Edgeworth, in the case where his father was killed and he thought that it was him for 15 years, they called in a spirit medium, and the spirit of his dead father accused the wrong person and ruined somebody's life. And for a long time, Edgeworth thought that if Edgeworth believed that that was a thing that really happened, he thought that his dad did that to protect him. So I feel like perhaps he doesn't want to believe in these things for some reasons.
Yeah, but Jay, he has seen teenagers metamorphosize into adult women before his eyes.
People have seen shit that they refuse to believe in front of their eyes many times in the world, and they will continue to do so.
If I saw someone animorph in front of my eyes, I don't think I could be able to refute that. Sorry for saying something that sounded like I equate women with animals. I'm sorry, women.
Oh, the misogyny's back.
It's coming from inside the house.
I do think there's, like... Yeah, I do just think people are fucking full of contradictions. Ironically, for a game about contradictions. And Edgeworth is one of them. He'll believe it when he needs to and ignore it when he needs to.
He is a walking contradiction currently. He is one of the most famous prosecutors in the world, and he's wearing a defendant's badge.
Personas.
And nobody has realised this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing it. He doesn't just have
Didn't
it,
need
he
to.
is wearing it.
Yeah.
It is pinned to his lapel.
But he's choosing to.
Yeah, his boyfriend gave that to him. You can't just not
He's
wear
such a
it.
nerd. I love
Speaking
him.
of his boyfriend, Iris asks Edgeworth, what is Phoenix right to you? To which Edgeworth says, ellipses, he is a very dear and indispensable friend. What are you...
Load-bearing ellipses.
What are you
We gotta get this guy to a mahjong club or something.
What?
Like, he's gotta make some normal friends.
Impossible.
No, yeah, impossible at a fucking mahjong parlor.
I think you could write a very good homoerotic friendship based on a mahjong rivalry.
The only person I know who would hang out at a mahjong parlor is Hera, who I famously say is my most normal friend.
That's worrying.
On many levels.
I'm just saying that Edgeworth needs a third space, okay?
A protected
Yeah,
third
he
space.
should get a different hobby.
Yeah, what are his spaces right now? Fucking around and hanging out in his office. I don't know. Where does he live?
His work and the home.
And we don't even know what his home
he's
is
doing
like.
work in Europe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he lives in his
God,
office.
he could go to a chess club, but then he'd start doing that weird stuff with the blue pawns and the red fucking pieces and freak everyone out.
He needs to play a game that's like just him not against an opponent for a change. He needs to play like
solitaire
climbing or something.
I was gonna say
Go to a
Bejeweled, but
wine
yeah.
tasting, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh god. That would be perfect actually, because if he spills some on his jacket, you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah. I don't even know what rich people do.
They play golf and shit. I don't know. I don't think Edgeworth would play
I always
golf.
think about like those kind of high school animes where you have the rich students who are just like fucking amazing at everything, and he would be one of them, and then Phoenix would just be the poor student who's just got through on a wing. I'm thinking of Ouran High School Host Club.
I knew you were thinking of Ouran High School Host Club.
The more fucked up version. I just really think about this and how they've made the prosecutors into this, and it's really funny to me.
What if it was Ouran High School Host Club, but all of them had the power to decide who lives and who dies?
Well, rich people do have that power, so...
Jesus Christ,
fucked.
Devin.
Sorry.
Don't forget to mouse your eyes.
In this same conversation, it is revealed that Phoenix asked Edgeworth to represent Iris in court,
And he said yes.
and he said yes.
So normal.
Okay, A, so normal. B, I think it's genuinely kind of wild that Phoenix asked Edgeworth to represent Iris in court under the implication that he immediately assumed Iris was innocent. Because, like, at the point before he fell off a bridge, she was an extremely likely suspect if it is Dahlia, because she has a history of murdering people.
But Phoenix has the magic power that can let him know whether people are cosmically evil, and he relies on it so
He didn't
much.
even, but the thing is, he didn't even get the opportunity to ask Dahlia, did you do this murder? Because by that time he'd fallen off a bridge.
I'm not talking about the Magatama. I'm talking about, remember when Edgeworth had, like, what seemed like very clear evidence that he had accidentally killed his dad as a kid, and Phoenix was just like, no. No.
Oh
I
yeah,
just don't believe it."
no, his soul is too pure for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Consider as well that
He's too
the
nice.
police have arrested the wrong person for every crime that Phoenix has been
Every
at.
single crime. Yeah, that's the thing, because when Phoenix was asking Edgeworth to defend her, I feel like he didn't know enough to... Because, like, there are so many times we start a case where you go to see the person in the detention center and Phoenix is like, I don't know, is this guy really innocent? Before it's like, yeah, you're defending them, they're obviously going to be innocent. And if it weren't for... Except for Matt and Guard, obviously. But, like, her being the person that you have to defend makes it so obvious that she is not going to be the murderer. But still, it seems kind of wild
Maybe
that
he was
Phoenix
just
would
trying to set
immediately-
Edgeworth up.
I have a new
don't like
thing
that.
to bring up. Remember when Devin was like, this is a game about people who love people too much? And think about Feedy and Dahlia and how, like, he doesn't know who the fuck this is, but he's just, like, on this
I think
fucking...
the other... Yeah, like, it's a really good point. But the thing I don't like about it is, like, if that's legit, and if this is Dahlia, then it also means that Dahlia does actually have feelings for Phoenix, and I don't buy that whatsoever.
Well, that's not what I'm saying exactly in this situation. What I'm saying exactly in this situation is, like, Phoenix is not over Dahlia, and even if, like, he cannot conceptualize the idea that, like, this could be Dahlia, and obviously because Dahlia killed a bunch of people, then she could have killed someone again. Like, he's just not even thinking about that. He's literally just like, no, this is, like, somebody that, like, I was madly in love with and, like, couldn't ever see them doing any wrong. And even though they got very clearly proven to be doing wrong, like, I'm still in that mindset.
I think this is a bad problem for a lawyer to have.
I also, like, I don't even think it necessarily has to be, like, that much. Like, it could just be that, like, Phoenix needs, like, someone to buy a day of extra time until he can find out more. Because, like, I think at this point, Phoenix probably just wants to know what the fuck is going on. And that's not going to happen if Iris is convicted immediately.
That is true.
And he trusts Edgeworth to just buy time. Like, I do think that Phoenix is insane, but... and I can definitely get on board with that reading, but if you don't want to get on board with that, this is the alternative.
I'm getting on board Devon's alternative, I think.
Devin's alternative is good, but I'm more
But it's
boring.
wrong.
In this same conversation, Iris says, it was 5 years ago. That's when I deceived him. That's why I thought it was best that he never saw me again. I just wanted him to forget about me without learning the truth.
Pretty on the nose reference to case 1 of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, doesn't really fill me with enough confidence to be like, oh yeah, she's definitely not up to anything mischievous.
Well, sure. But it begins to clear up who she is.
Yeah.
Edgeworth makes her agree to tell Phoenix the truth if he gets her acquitted. End scene.
Is this when we see Gumshoe?
Yeah.
Yay! It's our weird girl Gumshoe!
Gumshoe is Edgeworth's weird girl, and I was very disappointed that he was not with us in the trial later.
Yeah.
That would have been unbearable, I think, because Edgeworth is so fucking mean to Gumshoe.
It's true.
Yes, he's terrible. He's a terrible man.
It's true, but I genuinely think Edgeworth doesn't understand what he's doing half the time when he's being mean to Gumshoe.
I think as well, like, the trial is very much, it's Edgeworth and Franziska.
Yeah,
like,
it's
their
it's
moment,
their
it's their
space.
time to shine. Gumshoe being there is just, like, a distraction that we don't need. Also, there's not really a precedent for him to just be stood next to Edgeworth when, like, why would he be there? He's a police officer. He's not.
You think they've got
defense
enough money
counsel.
to make 3 new Gumshoe sprites from Sideways?
Gumshoe just kind of agrees to tell us everything, despite the fact that we're kind of gonna defend Iris. That's probably fine. He does that anyway, so really, what is the difference?
Also, thing of note,
Edgeworth's just a bit shocked.
thing of note is that they did put up some big wooden planks to stop people from going over the bridge now that it's burnt down. I'm glad some safety features were finally installed.
Even though maybe we still need to cross the bridge, you could say. Yeah, and there's just a lot of Edgeworth being incredibly mean to Gumshoe.
And Gumshoe loves it, is the thing.
Solidly. He fucking loves it.
He's so whipped. He's so whipped. He's more whipped than he was getting whipped when he was being whipped by the person with a whip.
Then there's a funny thing where Edgeworth once again fucks up a name and internalizes bikini as being a bikini lady who he's got to go and find. That's a fun thing that comes
A
back.
bikini lady in the mountains.
Gumshoe tries to eat the Magatama.
That
I realised
was
I wrote down
really
nothing
funny.
actually important to the plot, but I just wrote down the shenanigans between these
Gumshoe
two.
trying to eat the Magatama was really good. If I had the power to see the truth in people's hearts, you know I would be chowing down on that thing.
Fuck yes.
They are like really selling the fact that Gumshoe is down on his luck. Yeah.
They're selling the fact that Gumshoe is starving and is desperate for food.
And then Edgeworth will just be like, maybe salary is important.
Edgeworth offers him the Magatama. He immediately shoves it in his mouth, and then he says, "I thought it was some kind of candy that would fill me up, sir."
Oh, God. Someone please help this man.
He thought his master was giving him a treat.
God, it's so fucked. It's so fucked. Miles Edgeworth is the worst man alive. I love him.
And then after this, when he talks about how much he's starving, Edgeworth says, "I thought you were really into instant noodles last year." Which is...
God. This is really like when you have that rich friend and you're just like, oh,
Literally.
fuck. Like, you literally have never had to think about money in your life one time, have you, buddy?
Literally, it's so funny. Like it was his hobby that he was just eating nothing but instant ramen. Holy shit.
God.
If you share all your evidence with him, you find out that the identity of Elise is not cleared.
Pretty Zeus.
Some
Pretty
people
weird.
are just mysterious.
There's an interesting thing where if you talk to Gumshoe about Loris, he says he did a painting for me and I was going to take the painting, but then he offered me 50 cents for it. And I was like, dang, that's a steal. But then I remembered Edgeworth that Gumshoe doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
But in response to talking about Loris, Edgeworth says, "I really don't want to talk about him." And when he says that, all of the music cuts out, which I thought was very, like, abrupt.
I didn't notice that. That's really funny.
It's really funny. Just, I really don't want to talk. Like, he has a spiteful vendetta against that man.
And it's justified.
Well, the thing is, it's justified. It's only going to get more justified from here.
We also find out that he doesn't know about Godot.
Which is
Yeah,
really funny.
interesting.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Extremely weird.
Yeah.
We go to the front gate. Larice is here.
Sorry, I was just giggling at the Godot thing and just being like, do you remember the shape of all of the prosecutors who work in the office that you go to?
Well, I've just realised something
Yeah?
that we may now know, which is that Godot literally may not have existed until after Edgeworth left the country.
Oh, yeah.
We might
That's
actually
true.
have the timing on that now that we know more things about Godot and more things about
That's
Edgeworth.
true.
This is another thing that's been bugging me, is I know that Godot has to be, like, involved in this case to a major extent. But, like, I don't know how narratively he's going to get woven into it. And I'm just really intrigued by how that's going to play out. Is his angle that... I mean, like... Is his angle going to be that because he's the prosecutor against Iris, that he's going to be like, oh yeah, but, like, I know she's guilty because she's got this criminal history, and that's when, like, all of her truth come out?
Maybe.
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 But, like, what brings him into it if I don't like the idea of Francesca just, like, not succeeding on the first day of the trial and then just leaving, which makes me think that something bad is going to happen to Francesca again.
Oh god.
I think Godot's just going to take her off the case when Phoenix comes back on, because he's like, I have to take this.
But, like, I don't know if... Well, yeah, because I guess Francesca wouldn't be as interested in the case itself if Edgeworth wasn't the one she was going up against, right?
Yeah.
Didn't she also charter a jet just to go up against Edgeworth? So, like, maybe she just doesn't give a fuck. Like, she's just going back
That's
to
likely,
Europe.
yeah.
They can share a plane this
What if it was the
time.
same jet?
She just stowed away.
No, like, they both went on there willingly. But, like, they sat on opposite sides of the plane.
Nah, they definitely chartered separate ones because they're so rich.
No, you know what they did, Devin? They did that thing they do in sitcoms where they drew a line down the middle of the plane and they said, this is your half and you have to stay in their half.
I think they sat on opposite sides of the aisle in the same row and pointedly ignored each other the entire
Yes,
time.
that's exactly what I'm visualizing, yes.
No, I totally see it as like Edgeworth was just like, I need to go see Phoenix. Chartered this flight. Fran found out. Chartered a faster plane. Just
Chartered
to
a
get there
faster
before he
jet,
did.
yeah. I don't know. What wins out in this scenario? Is it like closeted homosexual romance, or is it like just absolute drive for sibling vengeance?
We can do both.
Well, sadly, we know what happened, actually, is that once Edgeworth knew about the details of the case, he called in Francisco because he couldn't have anyone that knew him from the prosecutor's office be prosecuting on this case.
This bit doesn't make sense to me because Edgeworth is supposed to be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Canadian
Yeah.
judge isn't paying attention to shit or fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't know how he feels about a guy looking like a guy he might know about
And like,
from a thing.
Furio Tigre does not look like Phoenix, and everyone who has known him well for years has been like, yeah, you seemed a bit different. Like, people aren't that observant in this universe.
So true.
Okay, but the difference is that Furio Tigre said that he was Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think Miles Edgeworth should have adopted a fake name and worn Groucho Marx glasses during the trial.
Yeah.
Kilometers do nim.
Kilometers. That's really good, Jay.
So good. So good.
Larisse says something. I believe that what you are doing is questioning him about Iris in this moment. But Larisse says something so fucking weird that
Again.
I didn't make any other notes about it. He says, "Come on, Edgy, you were a guy once."
Wait, did he say that?
What the fuck does that mean? I'll pull up the exact
That line
quote.
at all.
I didn't really take that in. That's so funny.
You were a guy once. And you won't be a guy for much longer.
No. Eggworth is here. I'm so happy. happy for
Egg,
her.
God, that note was so good.
Here it is. If you present Iris's profile to him, Edgeworth says, "I have a feeling she's hiding something." Larisse says, "Could be. After all, she's shy and gets embarrassed pretty easily." Edgeworth says, "I don't think that has anything to do with it." But says, "Why not? Look, I know I'm all about this kind of thing. Come on, Edgy, you were a guy once. Lots of girls are like Iris. You know I'm right."
What did he mean by this?
What does he mean by
What
this?
did he mean by this?
What did he mean by that?
What does he mean by this?
What could he have meant by that?
Okay, what did he mean by that?
What did he mean by that? He must have meant something by that.
I assume what he meant was like there was a time when
he was a
Edgeworth
guy.
was more of a lad, you know?
Lads.
When does Larry Botts think that Miles Edgeworth expressed interest in women? When he was 9? Like, what? What did he mean by this?
You were one of the Chumley lads once, weren't you, Miles?
It begs belief. I just don't understand what
What did
the
he mean
intention of
by
that
this?
line was. There's a reason I wrote it down.
You were a guy and now you're just like a machine.
Oh, robot. Edgeworth.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming the implication is, right?
But like, there's
You're a
nothing to
different beast
corroborate
now.
that. You're
Right.
something that's transcended gender, I suppose.
Man.
You're not a man or a woman. You're a prosecutor.
That's how I feel about being a
awful.
writer, honestly.
If you prod Larisse some more, I'm fresh off the wiki where they were just calling him Buds.
I do want to say the game doesn't everyone in the game just calls him Larry.
It's very annoying.
Doesn't respect it at all.
Yeah, because every single, well, not every single time. There's a bunch of times. Look, I'm gonna say something people might not know if they haven't changed their name before. When you change your name, there is a gradual learning period where you've got to get accustomed to being called by a new name. So it's understandable that Laurice also doesn't constantly correct people every time someone calls him Larry. But the thing is, there are times where he does adamantly and vehemently say "Hey, my name is Laurice now." Use my proper name. So I'm just okay.
Yeah, this is one of the classic we are reading this in a very different way from how it was intended by the game, and genuinely I hadn't really thought about it before, just because I had only ever thought the game just treats this as such a nothing thing that it doesn't mean anything.
But the thing is, Laurice changing his name has no bearing on his character whatsoever. The notion of him being there to reinvent himself didn't require him to change his name as an aspect of that. I don't think that being an apprentice of Elise Dunham actually necessitated him having a new name. She writes children's books.
Well, I think that he was just trying to reinvent himself, and also
he was.
Right, exactly.
The only thing that he did was change his name, which is not
that's
very
not true.
effective in my
He is
opinion.
also an artist. He also now is flourishing with an artist's soul.
I guess
He does. We haven't spoken about this yet. I want to talk about his jumper.
I think he has a very beautiful jumper.
His sweater. It
It's
has
not really-
bows on it. It's really nice.
I think it's supposed to be an
pink.
apron. It's just tied up strange. I think
Bright
I think,
pink.
I think it's an apron because it's got the paint splashes everywhere and it's tied up and it's got a little guy's face on it.
It's got a little.
How's the easiest way I can pull this up? If I Google Laurice Dunham.
Please be careful.
Yeah, Laurice Dunham was.
Larry dies at the end of this case.
Oh, it would be really fun if this was like a everyone's trapped on this mountain and being picked off one by one story.
That would be so
Stop
good.
making better
What if this is
Tony
actually
faces.
Lost?
Oh, it's so nice seeing the old pixel art.
It's Laurice. It's definitely a pink sweater. It's got a monkey on it. He's got a bright orange beret, which I also really like. I would wear this outfit.
I believe he's wearing red pants as well when we see him in the courtroom.
Larissa
Color
doesn't
theory.
right.
Jay is going to start dressing like their favorite Ace Attorney character.
All right, what did I do to deserve this?
I'm sorry. I saw a target painted on your back and I had to shoot it.
Anyway, he's wearing a cute sweater. He's wearing a shirt underneath so that the collar is coming through.
It's so cute. It's like a little Peter Pan collar as well. Real nice. Anyway, he's an awful misogynist.
What? He lies.
He lies.
Yeah.
He lies to you. We haven't mentioned this yet, but I guess Phoenix just didn't explain it very well to Edgeworth because Edgeworth calls them psycho-locks.
Yes. I didn't pick up on this until much later because I just assumed it was
funny.
spelt the same. But yeah, he does call them psycho lux.
One thing that I've been thinking about since we started game 2 is that Devin and I both call them psyche locks, and you both call them psych locks. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, well, we have no idea which one of those is true, except that I think it's more likely that Edgeworth misheard psyche locks and calls them psycho locks. And I have thought about that since that first episode where the Meganta was introduced.
I just don't think
Vindication.
psyche lux is very good syntax. That's all.
I mean,
fair.
that's true. But I mean, were they not named by Phoenix right?
That's
I
true.
don't know. I don't
feel
remember.
like they were.
Didn't Pearls say what they were? She explained them.
When the first time you use the
Maybe it was Pearl,
Magatama,
yeah.
you get spiritual guidance, right? From Maya's ghost,
Pearl's ghost, I'm pretty sure.
Pearl's ghost.
Yeah, because
Spirit
it's
ghost.
Pearl who juices it with magic powers. And it's also
Yeah.
Pearl who tells you every time you're about to die, hey, that's a gif.
You talked about the one I posted. Yeah, it's a gif. So Larry does the thing where you ask him something and he clams up immediately. Annoying.
Super annoying.
It's very weird. It's very... It's drawing on something specific, and I don't know if what I'm thinking of is something from personal experience or something from media that I've consumed. But it does feel like a certain type of character. Just intentionally being unhelpful because they know that they are useful to you in that moment, and they just want to be the center of attention about it for a bit.
Larry wanting to be the centre of attention?
We go and talk to Bikini after this.
Bikini does the funny joke of like being flirty with Edgeworth, but the difference with her is like when Old Bag did it, it felt like genuine. When Bikini did it, it always came across to me as like old person who knows they're doing this. Them doing this makes young people uncomfortable, so they do it on purpose because they think making young people uncomfortable is funny.
I do want to bring up this fact. Bikini is 48 years old.
I think the point still stands.
All right.
You gotta remember that, like, that's double the age of every other character in this video game. And also, we don't know how old Bag is.
Because she doesn't share her age.
She never tells you her age.
29.
She could be 35.
I think that Bikini is just, like, very, like, self-confident and very,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah.
She's good.
Like, self-assured, and it's really fun, and it doesn't
It's
really
really
seem
good.
to be treated as in a horrible joke way in the way that you might expect from this video game.
Yeah, like, genuinely,
Yeah.
I was expecting her to be, like, the butt of jokes, but, like, she's got too much old woman swagger for that.
So true.
So true. She's also got a serious face, which took me aback, because I was expecting her the whole time to be jolly jovial style. But when she pulls out her serious face, that's when you know things are serious because of the look on her face.
All
I
right.
love her design so much.
She gives you a key piece of visual art, which is pretty visually distinctively Iris stabbing Elise in the back with the 7-branch sword.
Yeah, and it's basically what she saw that she's going to testify about.
It's kind of a crazy image. It's extremely
Yeah.
visceral.
It's
so
very
much.
much someone being stabbed with a sword, yeah.
The Ace Attorney
Yeah.
death images often go hard as fuck.
I don't think I'm still over Terry Falls literally dying while everyone watched in the previous case. I don't think we
Yeah.
lent enough weight to that. That was so fucked up.
Yeah, that
Pretty
was really
fucked.
fucking intense.
Bikini reveals that Pearl is still missing.
Yeah.
I did write here, I hope this case's pinnacle moment is when Maya finishes chanting 30,000 times and summons an army of ghosts into court. I knew I referenced an army of ghosts here at some point.
A lot of ghost theory happening.
Yeah, I
in
wonder why.
The Court of Road.
Look, I wonder why, huh? Look, you could be right, Hera. It could just be literally no ghosts. I don't think it can be no ghosts.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Edgeworth doesn't seem to know who Pearl is in this scene.
Which is really
He
sad.
did specifically hang out with her at the end of Game 2.
When Maya was kidnapped?
Yeah, they had the party in the hotel ballroom at the end.
Although he does run off to go and find Franziska, so maybe he doesn't remember very well.
Pearl
That is
was
true.
there when Edgeworth came back from the dead and revealed himself to Phoenix, and Phoenix was like, I wish you were fucking dead for real.
Yeah.
There was an 8-year-old watching
So
the whole
normal.
conversation, and I feel like if you were Edgeworth, that might stick out to you.
He was too busy looking at Phoenix. who
Edgeworth
I hadn't
didn't
seen in a
register
year.
her even once.
Yeah. He was too busy looking at his boyfriend, who was trying to confess his love to.
They allude back to the case that involved the master of the Korean channeling technique. This is referring to the case that Misty was in, that she then went missing after. Then Edgeworth says, I detest talk of supernatural drivel, and I suppose now you'll say she has midi-chlorians?
I don't think that Edgeworth should know what Star Wars is. That doesn't
I don't think
seem
that
right
Edgeworth
to
should
me.
know what Star Wars is. I did have to
I don't think
clarify
Edgeworth
that
should know
the
references that I don't get.
the existence of midichlorians was specifically a means of demystifying a magical concept that existed in the Star Wars universe. So as someone who gives a shit about science, then he should be pro midichlorians. But also it's weird that
okay.
he knows what they are.
But then also, he is a massive nerd because he enjoys the Steel Samurai,
Chess.
so maybe he does know.
I don't think there's anything wrong about liking the Steel Samurai.
Not at all.
So
That
true.
was not a negative thing. That
It's
was
so cool is the thing.
It's so cool is the thing. Hera, when
It's
was
so
the last
good.
time you watched a Sentai?
Long time ago. I see a lot of gifs of
Kamen Rider?
them on social media. Of the, yeah, that one.
They still look cool. I haven't watched any Kamen Rider, but
Still look cool.
they still look cool. Bikini refers to herself as a member of the a branch family of the Fae clan. This is also a bit of a red flag, considering that there is some bad blood between them currently. So, oh wait, I think this is another reason as to why I think ghosts are involved in this, because it's specifically to do with the channeling hood that Iris gave to Phoenix.
That was to protect from demons.
It does also say to protect against evil spirits when you show it to Bikini here.
But Also, Iris is like, I don't believe in any of this.
She
stuff.
doesn't say that. When you ask her about talking to ghosts, she just says, I don't like talking to ghosts. I'm not a spirit medium.
Is that what she says? She
Yeah,
says she
'cause-
talks to ghosts?
No, she says she doesn't like talking to ghosts and she doesn't want to talk to ghosts. The reason I thought that is because, because she's killed people before. So talking to ghosts and having those ghosts potentially be people that she's murdered probably wouldn't go very well for her. But
What are the odds, though?
I don't know. I feel like if you were poisoned by a child, you'd probably be haunting them and waiting for the opportunity to yell about it at them for a bit. Do your first channeling, the first ghost you summon is just like, hey, come on. Why did you do that?
But here's what she says when you present the hood to her. Last night, I felt something. I felt that something terrible was about to happen. I didn't want Mr. Right to fall into its grip. I think she just has premonition.
She has premonition, but she does specifically
Hot new
mention talking to ghosts
superpower
before.
hot new real superpower just dropped.
She does. I'm 100% certain she does mention talking to ghosts before because I did make a note of it in my notes. Oh yeah, she says she doesn't like talking with dead people. That's what she says.
So she probably means talking to dead people who are being channeled by other people, because you
Yes.
can't actually speak to a ghost when you're channeling them.
Right.
There's a moment in this conversation, I think it's when we realise that, like, Pearls is missing as well, where Gumshoe just keeps saying, like, oh, wow, what a plot twist, or something like that, or, like, oh, the plot thickens, and it's just like...
The plot
yeah,
twists.
We know... Yeah, thanks, Gumshoe. Just staring at us, like, through the fucking screen and being like...
He's
"You thought it
he's
was
literally
bad
just so
before."
excited to be doing this with Edgeworth again is the thing.
God. And Gumshoe doesn't even seem that asked about Pearl. Like, they were close. Come on, dude. Be better.
I don't think you can say that they're close. He handed her his gun one time, and that's basically it.
He also, like, when all the stuff was going on with Maya being kidnapped, like, there's quite a few, like, moments where he is, like, comforting her, and he, like, gently takes her back to the office
He
and
was
stuff.
slightly better than Phoenix at taking care of her when all of that was going on.
Yeah, my mistake.
So I'm sorry, but I'm simply the person in this podcast who will always refuse to hand it to Gumshoe.
Yeah.
No,
no.
I also will not be doing that, Jay. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not, like, I don't actually think
I
he
could
could
fix
make
him,
it
though.
well, but he should
I know
care
how to
more
fix him,
about
though.
this 8-year-old he knows. Maybe because she hasn't been accused of murder yet, he doesn't really give a shit. But once she's been accused of murder, he'll be so her best friend.
Right.
Speaking of Gumshoe, I do think it's really funny that whenever Edgeworth does investigations and scene examinations, he makes Gumshoe go and pick up all the clues that he looks at.
And we're doing that right now in the courtyard where a woman got killed.
Points at things and
Well,
gets
what
Gumshoe to
about
go fetch them.
there's an envelope on the ground in the
Oh, yeah.
hall.
I can't believe that came up this late in this case.
Salutation here.
Salutation here. It's me.
It's me, the blackmailer.
It's me,
Tell
salutation.
This is a letter basically threatening Iris, saying if you don't meet me at the Heavenly Hall or something tonight, then I'm going to reveal your
Yes.
secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
Secret
boy.
we all assumed would be about to do with her past and how she did do murders. Turns out it's not that, it's something stupider.
No, we've already spoken about it.
Yeah. That's that. We find this.
Alright, I think it's courtyard time.
I got stuck here because I didn't realise there would be separate dialogue with Gumshoe here. It didn't take me very long, but I was just, like, wandering around, showing every piece of evidence to everybody, and then was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Harry, you
I
got an
see.
achievement to do with Laurie's telling you about childhood story moments, and I didn't get that, and I'm annoyed, because I did exhaust what felt like every dialogue option when talking to him, and showed him all of the clues.
I believe there is one for each of the 2 times that you meet him.
What did I miss? I feel like I showed him everything. Oh well.
Well, you didn't get the "you were a guy once" line.
I mean, it's entirely possible I just clicked over it too fast and didn't acknowledge it.
Anyway, you should. Well, maybe don't look
You
it
should-
up in case. But
You should replay the entire game,
after next episode, you can look it up.
and then I'll get spoiled.
I took a
instantly.
screenshot of the second one, but I do not remember what the first one was. When you get to the courtyard, Edgeworth is like, "Is this how it is for Wright? Is this what it's like to be a defense attorney?"
We
Which
have
is
been
really
saying it
funny.
this whole time.
Really fucking funny.
Turns out when you have the entire court system favoured towards the prosecution, it is harder being a defense attorney.
We get the autopsy here. Doesn't match the witness testimony even a little bit.
Nope.
This is also where we find out that Edgeworth has pulled some strings to make sure that he won't be recognised in court.
We don't find out what those strings are yet, which is really fun.
Yeah. Well, he says that there's a different judge, and we have a pretty good idea of who that is.
Because there's
Does
only
not
two.
reveal who the prosecutor is yet. Which I felt like I maybe would have gotten to if I thought about it a little bit, but I was very grateful for this surprise.
Oh. Oh yeah.
When wandering around, we realized that Larice is missing. He just disappeared from where he was before.
Yeah, which is what I was trying to do for ages was find him, because I didn't realise there was different dialogue.
Who do we find out about Heavenly Hall from?
I want to
Bikini,
say
I
it's
would
from
say?
Bikini, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think when you talk to Gumshoe in the courtyard, then you go back to the detention centre, maybe? And talk to... Do you talk to Iris again?
Oh, right.
Yeah, you do. You
and
break
then
her.
she tells you about the blackmail letter.
You break her double psycho lock, which is just like, I didn't leave my room like Bikini told me to because I was scared because a blackmailer was going to meet me. And I also didn't want to bump into Phoenix.
Fair. We need
And yeah, that's where she does that stuff.
Yeah, and then she marks Heavenly Hall on your map.
At this point, I was kind of getting bored with Iris.
Wow.
Look, I've firmly established what I'm in this for by this point. And having Iris act like there's some thing going on between her and Phoenix, I just don't care. I don't give a shit.
You're truly in the Naramitsu brain now, buddy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay, so from here we can go to Heavenly Hall.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks
There
here.
is a bunch of flags up here, and also there is some kind of painting of Larice and Iris on the wall of the hall.
Can't lie, it's a good painting.
Yeah.
It is a good painting.
Good job.
But we know who made it, and they suck.
They do suck.
Let's talk about the
Only you could separate.
can we talk about paper cranes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
the
know what
instant
this
I
is.
was referring to.
Yeah, see, I did experience this instant because I think this is a bit of an overreaction, but also very understandable. And that they were talking about doing origami in school and how everyone was making their little paper cranes, and Larry says Edgeworth couldn't even fold a sheet of paper properly, let alone make a paper crane.
Oh.
And he cried.
And he cried, and he cried, and he cried, and he cried so much, and he was a little crybaby, Edgeworth was. To which Edgeworth reacts with a visceral rage in his voice, a temper the likes of which you never see outside of the court. And he says, "You want a crane? I can make you a perfect 1/4-inch crane without a single flaw," because that is the voice of someone who has had one mildly traumatizing thing happen to them as a child and then had that consume them for the rest of their life because their entire personality was built around being perfect, and the notion of any perceived flaw horrified them to such a degree that they had to stamp out that imperfection with all the righteous indignation that comes with being a prosecutor.
Literally so real for this.
Literally, Jay, literally so real for this. I would genuinely,
It's so real for this.
I read that and I was like, damn, yeah, same.
We find out that Larry is a fucked up creep. End of story.
Oh, I just found out what you get the first childhood thing from.
What is it?
Oh yeah.
It is from showing Larry the attorney's badge.
I'm certain I did that. I feel like I did everything.
He says, when you were a kid, you were always saying, when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer and defend people.
No, I guess I did miss that then, because I don't remember that dialogue.
Edgeworth says that was a long time ago, and Larry says, but see, now you've got the chance to follow your boyhood dream for a day. You've got to do it. You've got to save my little Iris.
Okay, that part
And
sounds familiar.
Edgeworth thinks, this is exactly why I hate childhood friends.
I remember that also.
So real for this.
Oh.
Sorry, Jay. Sorry, I've known you. God.
Oh my god.
I can
Don't
leave.
say stuff like that.
No!
Stop! Oh my god.
No! I made a horrible mistake.
It's okay, Jay. I'm not your childhood friend.
Anyway,
Oh,
moving
man.
swiftly on. I've made no
Whew.
notes at this point.
I made so few notes in this whole game, and yet we've talked
Yeah,
about it so
you made
much.
4 pages of notes, which is crazy to me. Because usually it's Hera that's the lightest on note taking, and me in the opposite camp. But I think Hera did have a lot of the notes contributing to one thing that is going to come up in a second. But I do want to talk about the fact that when you examine the front of the Heavenly Shack that Loris has thrown all up on with his art, Edgeworth calls it graffiti and says that graffiti is not an art form, and that made me really incensed, but also that is absolutely something that Edgeworth would think.
Yeah, it's true to character.
Very true to character.
We
Still
love it
piss
when
me
he
off,
says
though.
something that makes you incensed. That's the point of him.
Anyway, should we talk about the banana peels?
Yeah, if you examine the stairs that are coming down from the bridge, Edgeworth is like, they were normal stairs, it was an easy walk. It was a long way, but it was fine. And Gamashi was like, it was fine for you, I slipped like 4 times.
Oh no.
To which Larry says, yeah, I ate some bananas and dropped the peels on the stairs.
4 bananas simultaneously. He fucking Donkey Konged a detective into an early grave, almost.
I wish he had.
I'm not going to relate it, but I did write a 200-word bit referring to the John Boys video, The History of Slipping on Banana Peels, I think it's called.
It's a very, very good video.
It was exactly like
do you
John
want to read it
Boy's.
out, Hera? I can read it out if you want.
I'm not going to read it out.
Do you want me to read it out?
I don't think so. I think people should just go watch the video.
It is a
because
very good video.
That's immediately what I thought about.
It's Secret Base is pretty good. Episode 16?
14?
I don't know.
It's one of them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what it's called.
Yeah. The History of Slipping on Banana Peels.
Court.
Yeah, I made a note here that says, our key piece of evidence was just Larry fucking around, so we're going in blind, I guess. 8-year-old girl still missing, by the way.
By the
Not
way.
the first time.
Everyone's in court, not looking for her.
One of the last things I made notes on is that you close the conversation with Laurie after he says, I have to admit, I'm impressed, Edgy. You're in a totally different league from Nick. And I said, and yet the same puppeteer tugs both of their strings and I make the puppets kiss.
Oh, actually, the last thing that happens with Larius is that he climbs up again, and this time has 5 Cyclops, and Edgeworth's reaction is, I'm not doing this, I'm just going to put you on the witness stand. Fuck
Really,
you."
really
Really
appropriate
funny.
reaction, to be honest. Very good.
I really, really like this thing of like you break his psyche locks and then you realise he didn't actually answer the question that you went in with. He just distracted you and then, yeah, just being like, fuck this. It's so good.
So, in the lobby before the trial, I can't remember if it's Iris that says it, or Edgeworth, but one of them says, a defense attorney's job is to believe in people and believe until the bitter end.
That's gotta be Edgeworth.
Probably, yeah. And I said wrong, their job is to smile, which is something he's really bad at.
It's true.
It's true. You go into the trial, and Judge Canada is there. Canada judge is there. And wants to begin the trial, but the prosecution hasn't showed up, which, whereas like, oh yeah, of course, the best prosecutor that Edgeworth could have possibly pulled is nobody, because then he just automatically wins. Which, honestly, if he'd
That's how it
actually
works.
done that, that would have been really funny.
If only.
However, there is another.
Francisco von Karma bursts into the courtroom. There's an extremely triumphant music.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
It's
good.
really
I
good.
love that song so much. So really, really, really good.
She doesn't know how to enter the courtroom other than bursting through it at this point, I don't think.
It's so true. It's so great. This and when you first start playing as like Edgeworth, I was just like fucking so revved. So great. So
It's
fun.
really, really good. The judge says, you wouldn't happen to be any relation to the legendary Manfred von Karma, are you? To which, in response, she tugs on her sleeve in exactly the same way that he does. And she says, the legends are dead, or something. I didn't write
Legends
that
are a
one
thing
down,
of the
but
past. I am a von Karma, that
Yeah.
is all.
Pretty good.
She's so
Interesting to think about in a case about, or that is sort of flirting with the idea of being about the Faye family legacy.
About family. Family.
About family.
Family. Family is what you make
She
of
did
it.
bring her whip with her, and she's whipping... I don't think she whips Edgeworth a single time. Is
She
that
doesn't.
right?
That's her brother.
I don't think
Why-
that would-
why-
I think
why
the
would
only
she-
reason she
look.
doesn't do it is because he could perfectly catch it out of the air.
No, here's the thing, Hera. Why would she ever attack her brother with a whip when dismantling with a barbarous assault of words is a much more appropriate way to tear him down?
Well, she didn't do that to Phoenix. She fucking whipped that guy.
Yeah, because Phoenix is beneath her.
Yeah.
True. He is.
She also says, maybe this is what I've been waiting for all this time.
Yeah, which is really nice. I think it's like, I don't know, I've not really thought this through, but like, the end of the last game was very much like, she never really got what she wanted at any point. She was just trying to catch up with Edgeworth or whatever. Now she like does get that moment. I'm like, yeah, and no one else is here. Phoenix isn't here. Weird girls aren't here. The first witness, at least, is someone that like is new. So it really is just a moment for like those two to just, I don't know, being caught together, and I love that. Good.
It does make me sad though, because I feel like this doesn't, like, nothing about this can end well for her, because I don't know what role she's going to play in the second half of this case, because like Godot's got to be in there to take her place, because he's...
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see her again.
That makes me sad.
Which is a fucked up thing to say. It does make me sad also.
It's okay. She'll be back in the Miles Edgeworth games.
The what?
She'll be back in the Ace Attorney Investigations games. Where you play as Miles Edgeworth.
She says the courtroom is the garden of holy judgment.
Someone has said that line before, and I don't remember if it was her.
It was probably her.
Probably was her.
We do a fun short joke with Bikini.
She's the same height.
Tony Biconi. No, Biconi. Bikino. I can't say it. I can't even say the name. I fucking typoed.
Bikino sounds like the name of one of those theatre clowns.
Oh, I
Like
love
Pagliacci.
Tony Bicino.
What was the name I said? Was it Tony Bikino? Yeah, Tony Bikino.
Yeah, it was.
Tony Bikino.
I love Tony Bikino.
Really, Tony Bikino is a really good name.
Just for some context of my notes, like I write them on my phone, so because I'm playing on a Switch, so it's just like the amount of typos I have to sort out. Anyway, Tiny Bikini is now Tony Bikino.
Tony Bocchino is like one of the like most emotionally devastating side characters in The Sopranos.
I know. God, an episode killed me.
I liked his reprise in that one fanfic.
You know what the funny thing is? I've never actually
Smoking
read.
pot.
I've never. Yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing, Devin. Is I've never actually read fanfic before, so
Oh,
like.
don't. Just don't.
So, like, my only links to it are thinking about Smokey McPot, and now every time I think about fanfic, I'm just gonna assume that it was written by that person.
It was. That's all just one person.
Yeah, I mean,
I've only ever read one
have a
fan fiction.
multiversal narrative. Oh no, I have read one fan fiction. It was like a Mob Psycho one, I think.
It is the one I've read is infamous for being quote unquote bad. And I will leave it at that. I'll leave it in mystery.
That could be literally any of them.
Is this the first time we've done a short joke? I just feel like
No.
it's such low-hanging fruit.
We've
I think
had,
it's fun.
Cody Hackins as well.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that where we got the fruit crates from? the
Yeah,
first
it's
time?
literally the exact same joke, Hera. Honestly, I just think it's cute.
I missed that. I forgot.
I just think it's cute.
But that's
it's
why
just fun.
Edgeworth knew where the crates were.
Yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure it was Edgeworth who got the crates. Well, not got the crates, but like told the bailiff to get the crates for Cody as well. To be honest, I like that before she gets the boxes, she does try and peek over the podium of her own volition.
It's really sweet.
It's very good. Just seeing her sprite, just
I
like
really love her character design. Yeah,
great.
it's great. She's so tiny. She has little cute cheek jiggles. It's all really good. I very
It's
much
very
enjoy
good.
it.
I don't like this judge.
I don't know how to feel
I don't
about
think
this
he adds
judge.
anything to this. Yeah. Well, I know exactly how I feel, and I feel bad about him. He just doesn't have the juice in the same way as the other judge does.
I don't want the judge to be like that involved in what's going on in the testimony, though. I kind of just want to.
I completely agree, and he is too involved.
I don't remember anything about what the judge says in this entire trial, to be honest.
Says a boot a couple of times.
I literally didn't make a single note that brought up anything the judge said even once. And I make a lot of notes.
This was my only note, is that I hate him. He sucks.
Valid.
He's in your brain. The first time Edgeworth grabs a contradiction out of Bikini's first testimony when she's talking about what she saw that night, he says, "It's not a bad feeling at all exposing contradictions like this. This is where the change begins." I think Because here's the thing. We've talked a few times before about, like, Edgeworth's quote-unquote character death of him being, like, redeemed and becoming a good guy. I think that, like, him having to be a defense attorney was, like, an infection got into his lungs and gradually turned him into a nice person. And I think that's why he's going to be like that by the time we get to the Ace Attorney Investigations games.
I don't think this is going to change him at all.
See, I don't know, because I feel like Jay and Devon have alluded enough to, like, inconsistencies with Edgeworth's character later on that make me think it is a thing that is going to happen, because, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem sustainable to... Well, it's not that it doesn't seem sustainable. It doesn't seem like something that the writers of this game would do is to make Edgeworth a bad guy for the whole time. I would love it if he was. It just doesn't seem like the kind of thing that they would do.
Well, I guess it depends on what we're talking about. I think... Yeah, I mean, like, Edgeworth is, like, the only character in this series that's capable of growth. And we've seen that on screen.
That's a really funny thing to say.
That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life.
So, am I wrong?
True. Yeah.
No, you're not.
Actually,
That's
Pearl
why
is
it's fucked up,
capable
because
of
it's so
growth.
fucking true. Oh, yeah.
She's so small.
She is very small. So yeah, it could. I think he's still going to be an asshole. He's just going to be like, well, I remember that one time I was a defense attorney and that was good and useful for me.
Think about it like this. He did a lot of really bad things that were illegal. He does a lot of perjury and submits evidence without approval of the court and does just lie a lot. And I think that after this, he's not going to be doing those things as much, is all I'm going to say.
I don't think he hasn't been doing those things as much anyway. It's just that the contrast here is so high because we literally just saw him at its, like, earliest point. But the last time we saw him was what, case 4 of game 2?
At his
And he wasn't
earliest
really
point,
doing
he was
that
lying
bad.
through his teeth that whole time.
Yeah, and I'm not denying that at all. I just think he has been doing that less and less the more we've seen him. But in this case, the contrast is very high because we just saw him doing exactly that
He's changing, I think.
6 years ago.
I think he's changing. I think something within him is being adjusted. There's some part of his brain that's dying and another part of it that's growing in its place.
We'll see.
Imagine a fungus.
Sure. Okay, I'm imagining it.
Imagine a fungus. Imagine if you were standing behind... Imagine if you were standing behind the defense podium, and just behind that podium there was a really big fungus. And every time you yelled objection behind the defense podium, those spores got into your lungs.
Sounds good to me.
Look, I'm not arguing against change. I just don't think it will be as fundamental as this. I think we've been seeing the change.
I think this is going to be a pivotal moment.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
He keeps talking about how he's turning into Phoenix Wright.
He just says he's Phoenix. We'll get to it. We will get to it.
Saying that a lot this episode, I think.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the things that I am saying it about are things that are, like, pivotal, to steal your word.
My word.
And if we do them too early, then we won't have those things to talk about when we get there at the climax of the case.
We do like to pivot.
Can we accelerate to get to those points?
Sure. We get through the testimony here, it doesn't fucking make any sense because we know that the autopsy doesn't add up. So we tell this woman that she don't remember good.
Edgeworth talks about stimulating the judge's fruit. Francesca talks about hanging Edgeworth with her own whip, which is pretty grim.
She doesn't say that. She says that Edgeworth should hang himself with her own whip.
Also,
It's the
also
classic
pretty
suicide baiting playbook
bad. The prosecutors
from the Von
love
Karma
to
family.
do.
Only the Von Karmas.
Why can't fucking Winston Payne ever tell someone to kill themselves?
Because he would get fired, I think.
I want this to be... Maybe I've just been playing too much Yakuza recently, but I would fucking love for him to have, like, the kind of aura of a patriarch by the time that we next see him again. Like he owns his own legal firm.
Who, Winston?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I love an underdog story.
I still want him to become Joker-fied.
I thought you wanted him to become Riddlerized.
Same thing.
Literally not the same thing.
They both wear green and purple.
I want him to become
We
Poison
argue
Ivy.
about weather. I love arguing about the weather, like, genuinely. I love talking about times and weathers and positioning on a map. That's my favourite shit to argue about.
Speaking of positioning on a map, why is Bikini's marker on the map a W?
Witness.
Oh, yeah. That does make sense, doesn't it? I think it just threw me because no one else had a letter in their marker.
It's because she looks kind of like Wario.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Anyway, we get rid of her. We
get rid of her.
get rid of her. She's out of here. Why is the reason that we call it... We're like, something happened at the bridge, right? The snowmobile. We argue about the snowmobile a bunch.
There is some other bits and pieces that I think are worth talking about. So specifically talking about moving the snowmobile and someone like potentially moving a body from the bridge to the site that the body was found.
They're talking about the weapon. They
Oh, right.
established
Yeah,
that it might
discarding
not
the
have
word
been the
murder weapon.
seven-branch sword that was actually used to kill Elise,
But another weapon that someone
but
took
another
and threw in
weapon
a river.
that someone took and threw in the river, but then that doesn't make any sense because there was only one snowmobile tracks. And so we're like, okay, well, let's go and ask Larry what he saw.
I don't like that Francesca refers to herself as weak and frail. But I do also think no one else would say that about her except for herself.
There's a bit where Edgeworth says, is there some kind of kick me sign stuck to the fence bench? Which is really funny.
Really
There's a
funny.
bit where throughout the entire testimony, Bikini has been talking about how terrible her back is and how it's really bad in winter. And then she talks about how one time she tried driving the snowmobile and crashed into a tree, to which they added the genuinely most upsetting sound effect they add in this entire game, which is just the sound of bones crunching.
Oh, God.
Genuinely sent shivers down my spine. Really didn't like that.
It doesn't even sound like bones crunching.
But
It's
just the fact that it's there is so nasty.
It's weird.
Getting a timeline of the events for all of this pinned down is difficult, considering how many moving parts there are to this, because we're supposed to intuit that, like, the murder took place at a different location, may have involved a different weapon. There are like 4 different parties that were active during the time of the murder. We're also accounting for weather and the bridge being on fire. And it's just like getting a timeline of all of that in order from like 10:30 to 11 o'clock is really difficult and very confusing.
So where we're at is heavily implied that Elise was stabbed in her room, and then was pushed from her room down to the courtyard.
But then that is unimplied.
It's unimplied by our next witness.
Yes.
In the courtyard, Iris found the body and tried to pull the sword out of the body. And that's where we got that extremely graphic scene.
Not a smart thing to do. Francesca also talks about the sword being a plug for blood, because if you stab someone with a sword, there isn't that much blood until you pull the sword out. She does also refute this at a later point because of the specific shape of the 7-branch sword meant that if you did stab someone with it and pulled this...
Well, that's why we figure it might be a different sword.
Yeah, if you did stab someone with it, then because of the shape of the sword, it wouldn't work as a plug because of the shape, which leads to new weapon theory. And then we need to figure out what was going on at the bridge, because we can't figure out what's going on with the snowmobile. Because there is one set of tracks and one set of footprints, but no return tracks and no return footprints.
That's not what it is. It's the snowmobile was used while it was still snowing, which is why the tracks got covered up, and it was returned when it wasn't snowing.
I have no idea how you remember all this stuff in so much detail.
This is the shit. This is the only shit I remember in the entire thing. It's why.
I'm so impressed.
I'm here to solve a murder, so the details are imprinted in my mind.
Final testimony, Larry. Well, we have a lobby scene first if we have shit to say about that.
Yeah. Iris has Cyclops here.
Iris.
It is not the time for this.
Another time where Iris, it doesn't make sense to me because she does say the line, "I could never take a life," and there are no Cyclops about that either.
Interesting.
But she couldn't now. She did. She could then.
I could never?
Never take a life, Hera.
Well, she did.
Edgeworth is like, okay, tell me what the deal with the snowmobile is, and she's like, no, here are my 5 Cyclops. Then you have to go back into court.
We take Larry onto the stand. Francesca immediately beats the shit out of him with her whip, which is great and good. Larissa's whole new bit is that he becomes very self-deprecating. I've talked about this trope before. I think it sucks. Every time all of the dialogue out of a character's mouth is about how badly they think they suck and want to off themselves, I just think that's really bad writing, and I hate it. There is a specific balance you need to have in order to be an entertainingly pathetic man, and this guy is just, like, taking the line and running with it. There's even a point where he says, yeah, that's right, I'm behind everything, every case, as if he's saying that he is guilty for the murder of every single case that Phoenix Wright has ever done, which I just think is funny.
Masterful gambit.
I've done all murder ever.
If you press the first line of his first testimony, Edgeworth is like, that is the worst line I've ever heard.
And he just dismantles it right there
I don't
without
even
you
know
even
where to
needing to
start with
contradict
this.
it. It's really good.
It's so funny.
Anyway, what you established is that we haven't mentioned this once, I don't think, is that lightning hit the bridge, which caused it to light on fire. We have weather reports to corroborate this. And he saw it and was so moved by what he saw that he painted a picture.
And there was nothing weird about that picture.
However, when we are finally shown this picture, which takes a while, we see there is the silhouette of a woman who seems to also be on fire, like flying over the top of this scene.
Very normal thing that a human being would do and not a ghost. There was also a point where I think there's like that a court would never accept the idea of someone flying to be legitimate, and then I think Francesca's like, well, there was this one time.
Yeah.
That's a good callback.
Yeah, that's also another good one.
Incredible that this case manages to have a good callback to the two worst cases in the video game series Ace Attorney.
This is what it was all for.
I can't believe you called Turnabout Big Top one of the worst cases.
Well, it's widely acknowledged as the
I
worst
agree.
case, but people are very wrong about this because of the other case.
There's a point where Francesca calls Larry a huffy puffy loosey goosey excuse for a whimpering whining wuss of a witness, which is literally a Looney Tunes sentence that she said right there. That's like something someone says before getting hit with a big cartoon mallet.
I wish.
There's a bit here where you can press one of Larry's testimonies and you get given two options, and both of the options give a different thing to add to the testimony, but you can only have one of those two things added to the testimony at a time.
This is not a new mechanic.
I don't remember this ever coming up before. I remember having multiple choices, but only one of them adds a new thing to the testimony. I don't remember seeing separate things being added to the testimony for separate choices that then override one another, so you can only have one of those specific things added to the testimony.
I want to say this happened in case 3.
I believe
Of
this
this
has
I think it
happened
happens
before.
in game 2, 4 as well.
I don't remember this.
That's because you picked the right one immediately, every time.
Probably, yeah.
That is possible.
Yeah, I really don't have any more notes about this one other than what is this, a trial or an intervention? Edgeworth is like, so many times, like, you have to change your ways. You need to be ashamed of your words and deeds.
I really like the dumb joke that they do where they reveal Larissa's painting, and he's like, yeah, I saw this woman flying, and then it smash cuts to every member of the court to collectively say, are you high? Really, really fucking good bit.
And so we're like, okay, who was this woman who was supposedly flying? We come to the conclusion that it was probably Elise. And we find out there was an amethyst ball, like, in the snow with blood on it. We don't really get around to why the blood is on it.
No, we don't, but we do confirm
Well,
that
that's what we're
Elsie's
sent to
ball.
investigate,
Elise's
basically.
ball. Yes.
Yeah, we discover it's from her staff, and that is the reason that it was her flying over the bridge, and why the body was moved from the bridge using the snowmobile to the courtyard. And that's it.
That's the end of the game.
Edgeworth is like, my work here is done. Francisca is like, I can't believe I biffed it.
Fucking beefed it, dude.
I wouldn't say this is necessarily a win for Edgeworth. It's more this is a draw, right? Mm-hmm. This is
I'd agree
another
with
shonen draw.
He survived. That's all he needs to do right now.
They exchanged blows and they both came away. So,
It's time for every time that we said we'll get to that to come up with one.
yes, because when we're talking about the Amethyst Ball, there is a time where they're like, can you really prove that that was there before the murder took place? Or before the body was found, I think? And you're like, I don't know. As the player, you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. And you get presented with the option of like, yes, there's proof, or no, there isn't. To which I've learned over my long and varied experience with this games, you have to say yes every time.
That's not true.
There was one very specific time where you didn't have to, and I want to say it was to do with Matt on guard or something.
Yes,
like
I'm pretty sure
I believe
it
that's
was
the case.
2-5.
And I said
2-4.
yes anyway, and I lost some life for it.
No.
I don't regret it. And so Edgeworth, let me pull up the transcript for this because I only have a little bit of it. So you say you can prove this, and everyone's like, wow, you can really do that? And Franziska says, that look in your eyes, you remind me of Phoenix Wright when he's cornered. And Edgeworth says, that should come as no surprise, and thinks, because right now I am Phoenix Wright and I am indeed cornered.
Wow. Couldn't just be a defense attorney, had to become...
A specific type of guy.
Oh, he is Phoenix's proxy in this situation, quite literally. And if it was any other defense attorney against Edgeworth, then this case would be over by now.
Well, there aren't any other defense attorneys.
Except for that one time against Mia. When are we going to meet some more defense attorneys?
There aren't any other
Never.
defense attorneys. Well, again, also probably in the Miles Edgeworth video games.
Maybe. Well, who knows? We have precedent for him being a defense attorney now, so...
I don't think that's going to stick. Maybe he's just a detective. Who knows? They're called Ace Attorney Investigations.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Maybe he's just a detective. We do no court stuff. The other thing we were talking about is theories as to what the fuck is going on here.
Now this is what I've been waiting for.
The prominent theory that I have right now is that it's Morgan who died. I think the difficult thing is what's going on with the flying fire lady who flew over the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened either. Well, okay, we have one piece of information relating to this, is that when Phoenix and Maya crossed the bridge the first time, he doesn't talk about it swaying, he talks about it bouncing. Please, stay with me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I want to hear some engineering right now.
And like, if it is bouncing up and down like that, you can generate potentially enough force to throw a woman like 20 meters.
Shut the fuck up.
Look, we know that the answer is gonna be fucked up like this, right?
I mean, you're right. It has to be fucked up if it's not ghosts. But I'm still like, here's the thing here.
Ghosts. There's no precedent for ghosts being able to fly.
There's no precedent for anything being able to fly except for by wires. And yet, here we are.
Being thrown by a large amount of force.
We don't know if that's possible in this universe.
Come on. Your Honor, come on.
Your Honor, come on. Listen, here's where my head's at right now.
God, I'm so delirious right now.
Ignoring the person flying over the bridge, I think a lot of what's going to be happening on the second day of this trial, of this investigation, is actually going to be revolving around Maya, because I think she also has a massive role to play in all this, and then what the actual purpose of that room she's been trapped in is, because I think there is something really important going on there. I still think it's something to do with ghosts. Cause like, here's another thought. Like, Ami could also play a role in this, even if her bones was turned to dust at the Korean village. That doesn't stop her spirit from being channeled 100,000 miles away in Los Angeles.
I'm going to humour this. I don't think it's what happened, but I'm going to humour this because it is interesting.
I also don't entirely think
that is the case, the army was channeled. Mm-hmm. Do you think the army was the one to kill?
No, this is the bit I'm having trouble with, is I don't know who would specifically be the one to kill Morgan. Because I think there are a lot of people that have a lot of different motives, and we don't really know Misty or Ami at all as people. And what what if it was fucking Mia for being like, hey, you tried to kill my little sister? Probably not that one.
Here's what I think. I think that when we get to the other side of the bridge, there are going to be 3 people there.
I think that's probably true.
I think there's going to be Maya, I think there's going to be Pearl, and I think there's going to be Misty. And I think that the tragedy of this case is going to be that Misty killed Morgan to defend probably Maya.
I don't know if that quite lines up with what Morgan's been doing this whole time, though.
We know that Morgan wants Maya gone because she wants control of the Fae.
Morgan wants Maya
line.
gone, but also Morgan actively pushed Maya away at multiple intervals during this case. And when Maya was isolated... Wait a minute, hold on, I'm thinking about something. Okay.
You've connected the dots.
I've connected the dots. Misty kills Morgan because Morgan... This must mean Bikini is, like, complicit in it somewhat. She's already confirmed that she's a member of a branch family. It's very likely that it's also Morgan's family. And even if it's not, they could still share the same interest of wanting the Korean channeling technique.
I don't know, like... In a lot of cases, the first day's witnesses just stop being relevant.
That's very true. I, again, want to point out in Devon's notes...
This is my strength, is that I didn't read them.
The first note that Devon has on Bikini is just Bikini in all caps, then the bad things are about to begin.
That could be relating to anything.
Also, I love her cute
right?
cheek wobbles. It's so nice and joyful, but I fear they did not put them in for nice reasons. That could just be Devon referring to the character designers often having nasty intentions to things, but also I think just like the implicit negative connotations with Bikini as a character also has some credence to the theory that she might not have the best intentions for having people stay alive. I think she is complicit in helping set this up.
I think for me, the biggest evidence that this is a case where Misty is going to appear and have killed Morgan is the Dusky Bridge case from episode 4 where one sister kills another.
Yeah, that is actually a good setup. I think the thing with
specifically stabs her in the back.
The amethyst sphere was most likely just dropped in the process of moving Morgan's body.
I don't know about that one. I simply don't have enough evidence to put that one together.
There's still a lot of like loose threads that I'm trying to pick apart, because there's still the thing with the hood that's bothering me. There's still the thing with the orb that's bothering me. And those things can be explained by ghosts.
Sure. I think you're reading too far into the hood.
Like, what purpose does the hood have?
Iris says she had a feeling that something bad was going to happen, and that's why she gave it. It was just like sentimental.
There's been so much talk about malicious spirits.
I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I think this ain't about ghosts. I think it's about ghosts in the broadest sense.
Insinuating that relics of these people that literally have actual magic powers don't hold any kind of sway over like whether or not they protect people from ghosts. Like they have magic powers, Sarah. It's
but
fucking...
we've seen the extent of those magic powers. We've seen the Kurain summoning technique.
We've seen the Korean channeling technique. We also know that like one of them can commune with a room full of dead people. But like it's crazy to me that in a case that almost exclusively revolves around people with magic powers, that there is nothing supernatural going on with the actual events that play out. And like there is no reason that isn't the case. That's the thing that bugs me, is I feel like this entire trilogy has established that this is a thing, and like, oh, there are all these supernatural powers, and every single one of them is being used to aid you in trial. Like, you've got your Magatama to help you see through truth and lies, and you've got your weird girl to help you communicate with your mentor. But, like, the idea that they've never once considered those same powers being used for malicious ends is, like, wild to me. Because there's so much left on the table in that case.
I don't know. Maybe Misty summons the dead, like, super kung fu warrior.
This is the thing, Hera. Either there is supernatural stuff happening, and it's, like, the kind of stuff we've seen already. It's like the counter Magatama that we mentioned before. It's someone channeling the spirit of Ami that we mentioned before. Or it's all just straight up no nonsense, nothing supernatural is happening. And it just is. And then it's going to turn out the Magatama was just all in your mind and your imagination. Jay, you were going to say something.
Yeah, you're talking about loose ends and you're talking about, e.g., the hood. I would like to ask where the loose end of Iris fits into this theory.
Iris...
Yeah, that's convenient.
Simple.
Complete coincidence.
No. I'm thinking about Iris. I had thought about Iris a good deal because I was like, man, she is... It's so easy to just, like, write her off in this case, but, like, she has to be involved in it somehow because she's been so entrenched in the narrative of this entire game. But, like, I really don't understand the angle they're trying to go for with her, because either she's fully reformed and doesn't murder people anymore, in which case there have been contradictions with things she said in the past about, you know, everything that she's told us about her past and when Cyclops have appeared. Because that's the thing that's bugging me about her, is, like, when Cyclops are appearing. Because it's inconsistent and it doesn't make sense. Because she's never had Cyclops appear when she's talked about murdering people. But she has had Cyclops appear when she's talked about just her past in a more general sense. And that doesn't line up right. And I don't want it to be twins. Because they did that one already.
Like, I'm sure we're gonna get some emotional spiel out of her once we've acquitted it, but I'm not as interested in it.
What if the thing is that she is dead and the Iris that we meet is just her spirit being channeled by a nun this whole time?
Sure. That would be fucking crazy.
That would be fucking crazy, but, like, who's to say
I'm
it's
not going to
possible?
discount it.
Like, that might not be Iris,
But
it
it
might
would
be...
be.
It might be Maya channeling a spirit. Who knows? It could be Pearl channeling a spirit.
I don't know, the way I'm trying
Wouldn't
to
it be
look at
fucked
it
up?
in the way
Wait a
that
fucking
you would, like,
second.
construct a narrative, right?
Hera, wouldn't it be fucked up if Elise was actually Dahlia's mom?
Sure.
It's
That would be...
Elise's Dahlia's
be
mom
crazy.
came there to get someone to channel her dead daughter. And then Maya was there and then did that.
No, I think it's...
I don't think...
There's too much going on
There's so much going on.
for Iris to be too involved, I think. I think she is used as a plot device to A, get Phoenix at the location, and B, you assume that she's a guilty person, so that when she is the accused, it's like a subversion, right?
They have to reveal her past in the next day of this case, though.
Sure.
But what leads into that? What makes that relevant?
They might not even talk about it in the case. The agreement with Edgeworth is that she tells
They have
Phoenix
to.
about her past after she's acquitted.
They have to... That's the agreement that she has with Phoenix, but if that's a conversation that she has with Phoenix, then there's no process of actively opening those Cyclops that are set up around her. It has to be something...
No,
that's
because,
always something
because she
that the prosecutor...
voluntarily hands that over.
Yeah, but that's, like, whenever Cyclops appear, it's always something that the player character has to actively pick apart, you know?
Sure, but this is a subversion, right? She said that she would tell Phoenix when she is acquitted. That is an agreement that's been made. I think this is post-trial lobby stuff.
It's entirely possible, but I think there's still, like, more going on with that. Because it doesn't seem like something that could just be waved off in a simple conversation like that. Because, again, like, why did no Cyclops appear when she was talking about killing people?
Maybe. I think the one thing that is important about her is how did the snowmobile key get taken out of her possession?
I think there are two Irises.
Sure.
One who's being channeled by another person. Wait a fucking second. I didn't even consider this at all, but there's also the entire possibility that Bikini was just, like, channeling another spirit and killed someone. Or, like, not even just killed someone, but, like, just like, the idea that people who can channel spirits can just do that to, like, go in disguise immediately. Probably won't be
Right.
relevant to the events of the next case, but she is someone who can do that, right?
We don't know.
We don't know. We know that Iris can't. And we know she doesn't like talking to dead people. And we know that someone flew across a bridge. I really think you're
We also know that Morgan can't.
Morgan can't, that's true. And but Pearl and Maya can. Someone flew across a bridge. Your notion that someone got catapulted by the inertia of jumping up and down on a bridge is really funny, but I don't know.
It's the only thing I can think of. I don't think it's supernatural. I think that is a red herring to make us believe that is possible.
The bridge was on fire. I'm not saying that it meant someone literally flew. I just don't think it was the bridge thing. I think there's another thing we don't know about yet.
Yeah, there could be. I'm willing to admit that. I do think it was a not supernatural thing, though.
Let's corroborate our evidence and say, so we both agree, Morgan, victim.
Mm-hmm.
Killer? Most likely Misty?
My argument for anyone else, right, is that... Sorry, my argument against it being anyone else is if it's not Misty, then it has to be... I guess it could be Bikini. That's fine. It could be Maya or Pearl.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Or it could be some unknown person, which I don't think they're going to do for the final case in the trilogy of the video game. Especially one that they've built up so much.
I don't think they're going to do Maya and Pearl. I think they've done too many instances where Maya has potentially been... When Maya has been accused of murder and it's not been her because they're never going to make the weird girl the murderer. They don't have the guts. Jay is laughing, which immediately throws everything I've just said into question.
Because she's the only other player that we know of.
I don't think Bikini is the murderer. I just think she's complicit.
Sure.
I think she is, and like it could be one of those things where she did things on behalf of someone else but didn't even know it was for evil intentions. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying I think she was involved more than she's letting on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to back it up either way, so that would purely be my gut saying that she isn't involved.
If you had to accuse any of the people that we've met right now, who would it be?
It would be Bikini. It would have to be if it's one of the people we've met, right? Because it's not going to be one of the returning characters.
What if it was? What if it was Loris?
It would be really cool, I think. I mean, shit, maybe it is. Maybe there's a world where Morgan attacks Maya, right? And she summons Mia to help her, and Mia kills Morgan, but Maya goes down for it. You know what I mean? That would be really cool, but that is pure conjecture.
Yeah. Okay, I think that brings an end to Theorizing Corner.
Barrett, welcome back, everyone.
My favorite podcast that I've ever listened to.
It was so good.
This is bullying.
Oh, you haven't seen the DM. The DM that has been having this conversation.
You know what this is gonna be? It's gonna be like, oh, like we're saying all this, and you and Devin are talking behind our backs, saying like, oh, they're forgetting like one very crucial specific thing that they forgot about. And I'm just like, yeah, of course we fucking did, because the game is intentionally obfuscating it so that it doesn't draw attention to itself. Or it's like something that we would never have thought about otherwise. It's gonna be like, oh, you totally forgot that like the fucking cushions and the hibachi grill and the main call are like lit in a specific way. Or like the specific scrolls on the walls of the fucking temple. It's gonna be something.
That was the giant Magatama. It fired a huge
fired a beam. It's gonna be like, oh, the lightning, it struck someone and it made them fly in the air.
I have to tell you, like, when I go into these cases, like, not knowing what happens, I don't have a fucking clue what is going on. I can't guess shit about shit. Like, I get to be smug, but I am so bad at this game.
There is one thing that has happened that Devin keeps saying to me, I know this is relevant somehow, but I can't remember how, and that is the funniest. I'm the only person who knows what's going on right now, and I feel so powerful.
Devin, do you want to theorize with us?
No, Devin, don't mention it.
I know too much. I know way too much. Like, I know what I think it's referring to, but I can't tell you.
The other thing I'm thinking about is the bell.
It's pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool bell.
Bell that makes you fly when you touch it.
Jay, you can't tell the spoilers! Oh.
Can you imagine if there was something like that and I just said it as if it was completely fake? God, I wish... I've got to figure out a way of doing that at some point. There's got to be something weird enough.
Oh, this... that we've passed most of the weirder things, I think.
There are other games.
Clown that sings Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when you whip it.
Alright, I'm very excited to finish this case.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna be annoyed. Like no matter what, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Great. I love to go into it with a positive attitude.
Come on.
I'm excited to get some kind of closure on the Godo plotline.
Yeah. God, we didn't even talk about him in our theorizing. Theory of
Doesn't
Godo
matter.
is that it's gonna be the guy from the previous case.
No. What an interesting theory.
But his hair is white because he's possessed by a ghost.
Because he drank some really bad coffee one time.
It scared him so bad that his hair turned white.
I mean, I guess he literally did, is what happened.
He did do that.
If there was a poison that turned you into a silver fox, there'd be a lot more, like, dead 40-year-olds, I think.
I'd drink it.
Devin,
Can't wait to be a silver fox.
can that be the end of the podcast, please?